The following program contains adult language and juvenile conversations. Listener discretion is advised.
So, first off, on a good note, I would like to wish our good buddies over at Outside the Cinema a happy 11th anniversary, which is fucking outrageous in multiple ways. And secondly, this week we had two milestones in my family. The passing of my mother and her birthday was earlier in the week. And though I had a turbulent relationship with my mom a lot of times, and there was a lot of undiagnosed stuff, she is the reason that I like the things I like. My mom bought me Kiss records, and my mom showed me monster movies. And my dad was a comic guy, but my mom would pull me out of school the day before if Hawk the Slayer was on or something like that. So, my mom is responsible for me, and I'm very grateful for that. But on a sad note of it, my mom also killed herself by a lifetime of smoking and smoking and smoking and smoking. And it got so bad that at the end, while she took it with dignity, I bet you that she wishes that she had more time to go see wrestling shows with her grandchildren than be gone from making bad decisions. So just remember, as good as it feels, it's not fucking worth it. Listen to your old Uncle Dynamo. And now, welcome to Trick or Treat Radio.
Welcome all you little zombies. You're listening to Trick or Treat Radio, starring the Deadites.
Welcome to episode 339 of Trick or Treat Radio. Trick or Treat Radio is a phantasmagorical spin kick straight through the heart of pop culture, navigated by the Deadites. The Deadites are the world's greatest electroshock band. We destroy monsters, we drink booze, we win championship belts, and we also review Belgian movies once in a while.
Waffles, Belgian waffles.
You like waffles?
Oh, they're fucking
Hey,
delicious.
Mars, let me take the picture tonight.
Can you
I'll
send it to me?
you, yeah.
Yeah, that'd be nice.
Yeah. Because I got my new lens
Nice.
that I
Oh,
want to
Cool.
try
Yeah.
out.
Do
So
something for a change, will you?
That's good, because all I do is plagiarize your blurb anyway, so
my blurb.
might as well fucking bring it full circle and have
Sir,
you
you plagiarized my blurb?
It's true. Hey, so while you're taking that picture,
Yeah.
should I wait, or I got a bit of an announcement? It's fucking huge.
Well, before you do that, actually, let me just talk about what we're doing tonight,
Yeah,
just to get
anything
that
you
out
want.
of the way.
Get out of the way.
So we're going to be discussing the film Let the Corpses Tan. This should be a interesting discussion. And then, a little bit later in the show, about an hour and a half from now, if you're watching live or if you're, listening on the podcast, we are going to be talking to filmmaker Chris von Hoffmann, who is the director of the film we discussed last week, Monster Party. And hopefully he listened to everything except Aries' verdict.
Yeah, way to go.
I hope he listens to Aries Vernick.
I'm just kidding. It's fine, Aries. All right, so I just wanted to get that out of the way, and then also we'll get some voicemail later on to wind things up. We're going to try to be a real tight 3-hour show tonight. So let's see if we can do it. Got some stuff going on tomorrow I got to get up early for, and I know all of you guys probably would like extra sleep too. So let's try to do it.
Yeah, man.
But first, let's take a picture.
No, let's
Well,
watch
we need it
Raven
for
Shadow
promotion, you goddamn prick.
Are you having fun with those chords with Raven Shadow?
It's like fucking Todd McFarlane's spaghetti webbing for some reason. I don't know why it's so long.
You do realize that those are the same chords you've been dealing with for years now.
Nah, this is a new chord.
No.
Oh, Christ.
Johnny went to chord.com and fucking got something new
No,
to
I did
confuse
not.
me.
That's the
I
same
don't think he
fucking
would have had to
chord.
go to chord.com. All he would have had to do is just unplug it and put a piece of string there, and you wouldn't have known how it worked.
Here, are we all on the shot
Everyone
there?
Smile. Oh, this is weird. Oh, that's
I don't know if it came out good. We'll see.
All right,
on
there.
the video of us and yeah. They come
Wow.
out.
Yeah, it came out pretty good. It's actually way more space than I thought. Look at that.
Holy cow, that's like panorama.
It's a superfish lens.
We should move into that room. That room is gigantic.
We could put up bookshelves. We could play putt-putt golf.
Damn.
I could be the windmill. This is nice.
You could be the windmill?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, I think you could do that.
Yeah.
You can pull it off.
You like the balls getting shot up your hole, do you?
Oh, hey now.
I thought he was saying because he blows.
Well, listen. We're having a guest tonight. Slow it down.
All right, go ahead, Mars. I'll send you the picture in a second.
Okay. So last week you heard us announce the news of the 25th anniversary show, anniversary weekend, and you heard the two cornerstones of it, which is live Trick or Treat Radio, a film to be screened, and the Deadites live at the Bull Mansion all fucking night long. Well, I can, after a lot of shit ton of phone calls today, tell you two things about that. Overlooking historic Elm Park, the handsome Park View Room in the former Fire Alarm and Telegraph Building at 230 Park Avenue is a beautiful, beautiful room. And on the 12th of April, we'll host live Trick or Treat Radio and a film. Survival of the Film Freaks will be playing.
Not like you gave it away or anything last week, but
yeah.
no, that's awesome.
Yeah.
I can't wait. I can see it now.
You haven't seen it yet?
I hear it's very good.
You son of a bitch.
I've not seen it yet, but everyone tells me it's good.
So yeah, it'll be good, and there's still some more announcements coming, but Bill will be on hand, and which means I'm sure he will be involved in some capacity in Trick or Treat Radio, and he also told me that the reason he hadn't initially invited Aries was because when he sent him a friend request, he declined it.
Oh, tell Bill to go fuck himself. Happy anniversary outside the cinema.
I did not.
That's what he said.
Yeah, and Bill fucking knows. He watches that shit.
He got the wrong guy then.
Hey, I have that shirt.
Segways are not your strong point, are they?
So I specifically picked this room because on the next night, Michael Ravenshadow had a place to park. On this night, he can just walk over from his part-time job because that's where I walked from today. So,
I can't wait. I can, get fucked up. Yeah.
Well, you'd still have to go all the way back to the worst city in the world. Second worst city in the world. You're from the worst city in the world. But you still have to drive all the way back to Leicester. I hear those cops are all mad because now they have to deal with the fucked up high people. So now they're just always angry.
Yeah, they're gunning for you anyway, yeah.
Right. Well, it's like Holden. I was driving through Holden the other day with our good friend Derek Rook, and there's nothing to do in Holden for those policemen.
There's not a lot of cops though. There's like 3 cops in like one uniform.
Mm-hmm.
They got one guy gets to drive the car.
Right.
The guy gets the hat.
We used to not get in trouble in Leicester because all the policemen had the same last name as Tiny White's mom. So not saying that had anything to do with it, but when you get caught speeding through town surfing on the top of a van like Teen Wolf, that helps.
It's true.
So it was good, but I'm super excited for that night. OTC Industries is really happy to be involved in, not just from the podcast view, but the relationship that they've had with the band. Doing my last birthday party, hosting it, and just becoming such good friends with us over the years. Like those guys, Bill specifically had to be part of this weekend in some capacity, and I'm biased maybe to a degree, but that's like one of the best movies I've ever seen. So
I can't wait.
I think you guys are going to know what's funny is that the trailer is very dry. The documentary is funny. Like the documentary is hilarious. So it's very strange that I think people will think it's going to be like, kind of cold and academic, but the reality is that it's very funny. Like the documentary had me in hysterics. I thought we were going to lose this fucking motherfucker right here when he and I went and saw it. Survival of Film Freaks, funny. Okay, good.
Very good.
You need to give some indication who you're talking about.
I put right to him.
Yeah, I saw him.
Like
Oh,
I know
great.
you could.
No, it was
Everyone
great.
listening saw that too.
Oh, sorry.
No, but I think this was.
Well, you know what? You should tune in live. That's
Yeah,
only part of my fault.
Benefit watching the live show.
Seeing these pictures I just took makes me really want to clean off this desk.
Jeez, I've only been
This
saying
desk's a
that for a
mess.
couple of years.
Well, you
Then
fucking
fucking
do something
clean it.
about it. Yeah.
do something about it, all right?
Jesus Christ. Am I the only one that me and Aries the only ones can fucking do like clean around here?
Really, you put away the cleaners.
Get that fucking Clorox out of here.
Here. We'll get rid of this. We'll put this in my Jeep.
Nope.
Take this. We'll put this in my Jeep.
Laughing Prince Adam is not going with you.
Why don't you slide it under your seat where my hair still is?
That shit is.
That was an old car, right? You got rid of that car?
I know that's
Yeah,
disappointing.
that was
that
when
you
I
didn't keep my hair.
Well, that was when I had yeah.
Yeah.
Great story.
Yeah.
Are you having a stroke tonight?
I might be.
Yeah, when you talk about going to Jiffy Lube again, that was fun.
Yeah, that was a blast.
Wow, I can smell
two
that from
free.
here.
2 free Jiffy Lubes this
We're
time.
not that far away from each other.
Oh, fair. Aries drinks some very strong whiskey.
Bunch of jerk-offs over there.
It's like a fucking heat wave out there today, huh?
Can't handle shit.
Oh, I know. I felt like it's fucking summer. I
And
was
it's going to
walking
be
down-
even warmer tomorrow.
It was like fucking -2 the other day, and now it's 40.
And it's going to be
It was
warmer
so
tomorrow.
fucking cold when I left
And it's
work
gonna
the
be
other
warmer
day.
too.
Yeah. It was so fucking cold when I left work the other day. I wanted to punch a fucking baby. I was so angry. Like,
Would that help?
I don't know, but
Wouldn't
I
hurt.
would
It would make him feel better, I'm sure.
like I know this didn't happen. Well, everybody here except for Johnny probably. But like every time I walked outside in that weather, I almost peed my pants. Like instantly, I got so cold I had to pee.
See, I fucked my dog up. He couldn't go outside. He like
You
went
what?
out.
Well, what'd you do to Ollie?
No, he went outside to do his business.
Oh,
And he has coat on and
he
stuff.
probably didn't like it.
He didn't. Yeah, like, he like walked around, was confused. He sit down a couple of times. Yeah, I didn't like that.
I don't take Ozzy out when it's that cold.
You just throw his poop out the window.
No, he's
Yeah, what do you do? Have him piss out the window?
No, he's house trained.
Like Raven
It's
Shadow.
like Raven Shadow's dog.
do you pull up the screen?
No, he's house trained.
Does
Little-
he flush
little-
after he goes?
So what? You got like pee-pee pads everywhere?
Yeah, not everywhere in the bathroom.
Oh, okay.
I had a cat.
You
that
don't
was,
remember them in the old studio?
Oh, I thought that, yeah, I do, but I thought that was for you.
Well,
I had
I use them occasionally.
I had a cat that peed on the toilet.
on or in?
On it, yeah.
Well, like he would sit on the seat. I don't know who fucking taught it. I don't know how it knew it was the cat that lived in that apartment when I got
Was
there.
it Mr. Gerbic?
No, his name was Hate.
No. You're mispronouncing that. It's Gabe.
No, that wasn't that apartment. I lived with a crazy English guy and a pretty girl, and then later on Tim Roderick, which was not a fair trade.
But I thought that if cats are trained to go in the toilet, then people can't use it.
What?
I don't know if you realize this, but I'm bigger than most cats. Like they're not gonna tell me what to do. And also, Hate eventually, despite the fact I treat it very good, ran away to the spooky King Diamond house up the street that was abandoned because a bunch of old people show up there all day and feed those cats. So once he realized that he could eat once a day at my house or all day long at the fucking King Diamond house, he never came back. He'd come and see me when I would walk by the King Diamond house, but he never came home again.
We have so we got a new chat room for anyone who is watching live, because the one we used to use was Chatwing, and
I like this much better.
Well, I went to load up and make sure everything was good last night as I was like doing the promotions and stuff, and the chat room wasn't loading, so I'm like, what the fuck is going on here? So I went to the website, chatwing.com, and it just is it doesn't resolve. Nothing happens. Like it brings you to like a 404 error. So I don't know if they just went away or if they're having issues, but we're now using a different chat. Not that we're sponsored by them or anything, but it's called Minute, MINNIT. So if anyone wants to just embed a little chat room into a website, it's very easy to do. So I just set it up. And it also has GIFs. Look at this. Raven J just posted one.
Oh.
Mars, who's that GIF of? I can't see. That's someone given a clothesline. Can you see? Is that Stan Hansen? It looks like a
Yeah.
Stan clothesline.
Yeah.
He's like, fuck.
Yeah.
He's like,
Fuck you
fuck you,
streamers.
Jumbo. Fuck you, Jumbo
Tsuruda, yeah.
Yeah, in your fucking ways.
So we got Creepy Girl hanging out. She says, "Why is the chat room weird?"
Hey, babe.
We got Raven J and we got
She's
Justin.
watching but not listening, apparently.
And we got Justin B.
Oh, what's up, JB?
Hey.
Yeah, JB.
So you guys will appreciate this, especially Aries. I found out something terrible this week that is going to be life-changing for me. Would you like to hear thing?
You
A,
have
thing A?
You have cancer again.
No,
Okay, good.
I'd be fucking elated at this point. Would you like to hear? Would you like to hear thing A, bad thing that happened to me, or thing B, bad thing? that happened
Is
to
this
me?
what you just like 10 minutes ago said? I'm not talking about this on the radio.
I have to.
Is this like
I
good
was
news?
told
Or,
it would be cathartic for me.
is this like good news, bad news, or is it just bad news, bad news?
It's good news. One of them is good news for you guys because I swear to God, like I can just see it at the shop. Like, yeah, he thinks he's in charge, but you should hear what Maz did.
All right.
All right, let's hear that. Let's hear that.
Yeah.
All
Let's do that.
So, definitely bent down to tie my shoe the other day, which I don't normally do.
Oh boy!
Congratulations. This is good news.
And
Congratulations.
How long did you fart for?
I don't know because I stepped on my scarf, which drove my face into my knee, which pulled the muscle in my neck and shoulder.
Oh, cool.
You
And
popped
it-
a rib
and
2
gave
weeks
me-
ago.
and gave me a bloody nose and hurt my ribs some more too. Like that still hurts. So that happened. So as I was kind of complaining about that and talking about other things, it came to my came to my attention when I was
believe
speaking some of
You have the worst luck with scarves. You got a caster wheel stuck in your scarf
Right.
like 3 weeks ago.
and it almost fell down because of it. Like it was like my shorter scarf. It wasn't this nice one, and I sat down. I just fucking stomped on it and pulled me right down. It hurt real bad.
And I noticed you're doubling up today. You got 2 of them on.
well, I usually have 2 scarves on. You probably just
Tom
don't
Baker,
notice.
Doctor Who never had this sort of.
double damage coming your way.
So yeah, and I realized something fucking terrible that also applies to Aries and probably Monster Zero too. Almost Michael Ravenshadow on Johnny. And I want to die because of this.
What?
I have come to the conclusion that mathematically,
No, I still disagree.
I am middle-aged.
Now, see,
Okay.
You actually probably more than middle age.
Yeah.
Sorry.
That was my argument.
If you live to see 90, you're middle aged.
I don't even know if
Half.
I live to see
middle is half,
46.
so
Oh yeah.
So does that mean did you have your midlife crisis, or are you having it right now?
I don't think I've had it yet. I don't have anything red or fast. So I'm actually the reverse of people that have a midlife crisis. Is like I just spent more money on 2 waters and a coffee and candy than I spent all week otherwise. Like I'll spend no money. Like so. But wait till I'm having fucking huge portraits of myself on like a bearskin rug and stuff like that. Then you'll know it came.
Yeah, I'm 47. I don't think I've had a midlife crisis yet.
Well, you're past it, so maybe you missed it.
We didn't grow up yet. So.
I don't-
Technically, though, midlife crisis is typically between 45 and 60. So it's not real. It's kind of a misnomer. It's not really a midlife crisis.
Yeah.
What does it even mean though? Like what do you do?
It's
Like,
just-
That
I think
you
when you
start
question
yearning
your
for
mortality.
youth.
yeah, like it's like, oh, I'm gonna just fucking go, like not for nothing, but I definitely made the decision to leave my corporate job, work at a toy store, and write comics and fucking music about monsters.
That might
all
have been
day.
it.
So yeah,
Maybe if I die, I die. That's it.
You're
You know,
gonna buy,
somebody
you're gonna
might
buy
say
a
it's the
sports
s-
car or something, Mars.
Yeah. Somebody might say it's the scosh, but those are for her actual purpose. So
choking yourself.
and breaking the seat, but I have ugly scars.
He's a
They're
big fan
gross.
of Michael Hutchinson from InXS.
Too soon.
I need you
Ooh.
tonight.
That's pretty dark coming from you, dude.
I'm a big fan of Chris Jericho, and that guy rocks scars like nobody's business.
He doesn't do audio asphyxiation, as far as we know.
How do we? know?
Autoerotic.
He probably does.
Yeah.
He's some weird shit.
He was at
Maybe,
makeup.
maybe he's a David Carradine fan.
Why is that weird?
no, I mean you can fuck cars if you want.
Like how do you know? Like how
Fuck
do you know I'm
cars.
not?
Yeah, auto erotica, right?
What?
Auto erotica.
That's just sex in cars.
Oh.
Whatever.
Oh,
You're like the
God.
Gary fucking Newman of.
The guy from
That you.
I hope you.
God
I hope you're
damn.
just kidding.
yes, I was.
Okay. thank
No,
you.
he wasn't.
He has been to a JLA convention
That's
before.
fair.
So.
I've been,
Jesus
I've been saying
Christ.
some fucked up shit.
Oh, you stick your tongue in its gas hole.
You're a weird fucking guy.
The old tongue in the gas hole.
Oh, yeah. Well, I've seen that shit though. You ever see those shows? People all fucked up. There was one of those like people were into some like fucked up thing, and one guy was like, he does like date his car.
I saw one guy fuck a car on the internet. It was pretty funny.
Of course you did.
Why are you on that site?
What-
I don't
was
even-
What site? It's on
I don't
Facebook.
care.
Did it autoplay after cake farts? Oh man, I'm eating like a
Don't we have a movie to review?
I'm eating a fig Newton here or something like that. What was this fig bar?
A vegan fig bar.
Yeah, it is actually.
Nice.
You jealous?
A little bit, a little hungry. My supper wasn't as good.
You jelly, bro?
What, you didn't get a pizza this time?
No, I got Burger King.
What did you get at Burger King?
I got 2 cheeseburgers. And
See,
a
that's the
fry.
cheeseburgers at Burger King are the fucking bullshit.
Tell me about
You
it.
got to get the fucking Whopper with cheese. And
Yeah,
that's
get
the,
a
that's the
fucking. Why don't you
Yeah.
just go all the way and get a double Whopper?
Yeah.
I don't need that. That's too.
And get
You
a
kidding me?
rodeo
That thing weighs more than
cheeseburger.
he does.
I fucked myself up really bad the other day because I had this conversation. Can I please have a Whopper? And the guy goes, "That's $6, you know." I said, "Yeah." And he goes, "You know, you can get 2 Whoppers for $6." And I'm like, "Well, all right." That was a bad day. It felt like I was.
So wait, you can get
You've heard
one.
the expression "shit a brick." That's exactly what it felt like.
So you can get 1 Whopper for $6 or 2 for $6. Is that
Right.
Is that the thing?
Yeah.
Why is a Whopper $6?
I don't know. They're fucking assholes.
I haven't
though.
bought one in a long time, but that's a lot of money for a Whopper.
Yeah, it is.
No, you can do the mix and match thing now. You can get that. You can get a chicken sandwich. You can do all kinds of things.
Yeah, they got the 2 for $6 deal going.
Yeah, it's nice.
Where did we eat after Rock and Shot? Because I want that burger again.
That was fucking
Pizzeria Uno.
Yeah. Oh, man. That
The
was
best place
awesome.
on earth.
Yeah, that place fucking sucks.
That's
One
what-
is
I
still
want another
shitty
burger
for
from that
Pizzeria
place.
Uno.
Oh.
I think Corny's his stomach's hurting just thinking about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's still upset.
And my big, in addition to hating Pizzeria to Uno, is all day it's like, I don't want to go here with these people. I don't want to go here with these people. And then it's like, why do we go there? Because these people we didn't want to go with said that's where they're going. My mind was fucking
you
blown
like these, Raven Shadow?
out the back
I do
line.
like those. Those are good.
Yeah, here you go.
Okay. Thank you, Johnny.
Yeah. I got 2 of them.
Well, trying to figure out where to eat after that show was such a clusterfuck. Nobody knew what to do.
I thought we had the
Like,
plan,
it was
though.
so simple. Just
Yeah,
pick
me
a
and Raven,
place
like
and go.
Raven Shadow was the fucking Raven Shadow and Bill were the caretakers of the plan. It was all set up, and somehow Raven Shadow called me and be like, they overthrew me.
I sabotaged it.
It was, yeah, Johnny was in cahoots. We could have walked up.
Son
You're
of
in
a
cahoots
bitch.
with who?
With
With Uno?
not Trick or Treat Radio people. How's that?
I heard no one say 99.
I was yelling. I'm like 99.
I heard 99 and Uno's.
Yeah.
99, and it went back and forth.
Well,
back
those
and
are the
Who
only
was saying
2
99?
places.
Because I heard no one say 99.
Because you're old and deaf and you didn't have that fucking dinosaur bone up to your ear.
Yeah, fucking
tusk.
Aries is like, oh, he's watching Get Smart now. I don't understand.
Justin B says, sounds like a BK ad. I'm hungry now.
Right?
I'm happy
Burger
you guys
King
get that
sounds good
reference
right
because I
now.
don't. What the hell just happened?
You said
BK sounds good right now.
Agent 99. Get Smart.
Oh,
Agent 99.
Okay.
Yeah. Perfect. But no, the move about that is it's a little up the road, and everyone goes to Uno's, and that's the fucking best deal in town. But we smart, and we go up the hill a little bit.
Yeah, but you don't get pizza skins at 99.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I don't get my fucking. I
Yeah, but
don't
they
get-
suck now. Pizza skins suck now. It's just all potato.
Yeah.
Yeah. Kind of lacks the cheese and the bacon and
Yeah.
all the good shit that comes with it.
What's the slogan for Pub 99?
Everything frozen.
Real meals, real deals, or whatever.
Real size entrees for fucking $9.99. Yeah.
Jeez, you could be a spokesperson for them. Listen to you.
You can get the fucking.
We should get them on the horn and get some fucking.
Raven Shadow, last time we hung out, where did we go?
$99.
Right, see?
It was
Nice.
delicious.
What'd you
It's
get?
delicious. I got fucking country fried chicken for $9.99.
They did not have anything that I could eat there except salad, and I don't want fucking
It's
salad.
not
when
my
I go out
fault
to
that
eat.
you're a communist.
Well, because you can't freeze salad.
You can freeze salad, trust me.
Yeah. Well, what does Aries get? You get potatoes.
I would not eat at 99.
You have eaten at 99.
I've never eaten at 99.
You're fucking gonna eat at 99.
No, I'm not.
Yeah.
He's gonna
I've
get
eaten
a,
at
Me and
99
Johnny will go
before,
to
and
Uno's. The
they're
rest of
pretty
you
good.
motherfuckers can go to 99.
I've eaten at
All right.
99 before, and they're pretty good.
Plus,
but
there's
Uno's
that
has that
fucking
fucking
really
burger, and I
mean-
love that burger. I want that
There's that
burger.
mean waitress.
Yeah, that
Oh, she was awesome.
First of all, that fucking burger weighed 3 pounds months to zero.
And
you
I ate
it.
all of it.
he did.
Every single crumb.
That waitress loved you, Mars.
Oh yeah.
She was like 55. That's my fucking. Oh, and the other thing I forgot to tell you, a 52-year-old woman, I know this because she told me, was reminiscing with me at the toy store, and she said, "You're probably about my age or a little older."
Thank you, Methuselah.
Did you share Metamucil recipes? So this guy is the oldest one of all of
Yeah,
us.
this is a whippersnapper over here.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I'll never be mistaken for 52, at least I'm like, what, 65 probably? So
Are you gonna
I got that going for me.
No,
you
but
gonna
you
re-
also won't fucking be. You might get mistaken for mentally challenged, though. So
Hey,
Are you-
I've always been mistaken for mentally challenged.
Are you going to retire when you're 65, MZ?
No. I
No.
like working.
challenged.
And he may be mistaken for mentally challenged. You actually did get mistaken for mentally challenged.
When did that happen?
You tried to get shimmied onto the bus with everyone else.
I don't remember that.
I remember that. I believe Leominster, CVS, if I'm not
No,
mistaken.
no. That's not what happened. What happened?
Really?
What happened was far more embarrassing. So I'm at Leominster CVS. I hope my dad is not listening. I'm at Leominster CVS, and basically Gwen Stefani walks up to me, right?
And not Gwen Stefani.
But
She looked like her. Is that what
yeah,
you're trying to say?
dressed like her, right?
Okay.
And starts like really doing the full court press on your old Uncle Dynamo.
I know this is a dream now.
No. It's not, right? And we're kind of like subtly joking about the fact that there's like a group there. You know what I mean? And they're fucking running amok. They're running amok in CVS, right? And you can't see this, but she goes like this. She goes, "Oh, I like that. I'd like that." And I'm like, "Oh, what?" And I was wearing one of my father-in-law's Budweiser coats, right? Yeah. And I go, "Oh yeah, but like that's fine." And she's like, "Do you think we could like hang out sometime?" And I'm like, yeah. And I'm thinking about, you know what? If I get in trouble for this, then nobody will, like, no court in the world will convict me. Like, it's gonna be okay, right? And then a chubby African American woman comes in and starts kind of like butting in, and I'm like, it's none of your fucking business. Like, what are you doing here? But then she goes, I'm so sorry, sir. Sela, come back to the bus now.
Wow.
Oh, that's hysterical.
Wait, so Gwen Stefani was on the bus?
Oh, God. Maybe you should have been on the bus.
No, like fake, like
Fake Gwen Stefani belonged on the bus.
That's sexy.
That's sexy.
Leominster Gwen Stefani.
That's like budget Gwen Stefani.
That's a fucking nice
Low
camera
rent
you got there,
Gwen.
Johnny.
Low rent.
Low rent Gwen Stefani.
Show bus Gwen.
Was that a Spider-Man character?
It is, yes. Worst
that
code name of all time.
Creepy Girl says that MZ looks the youngest. That's me.
She is drunk. She is high on PCP right now.
I definitely agree you look younger than two people in this room. Yeah.
Raven Shadow does a good job of tweezing out the grays.
Yeah.
Yeah,
No, he just for men. And
I don't just for men.
You
No, he
gotta let me
doesn't.
know who
That's-
your wig guy is.
What are you talking about?
Come on, let me on the wig guy. Cause
No, listen,
guy.
what are you talking about? It's all fucking factory issue. Well, sometimes
is it the same as the Merkin guy?
The Merkin guy.
Merkin for the work.
One and the same?
He's jerking for the Merkin.
He's the
No, listen,
Merkin man.
I got some gray hairs.
Merkin man.
I pull them out of my beard. Though.
I have no gray. No, what's weird about it? It's a little bit in my chest, but I have no gray hairs anywhere else. That's the fucking. That's gonna be it.
What are you talking about?
No, I said like.
Oh,
yeah, sorry.
okay.
Yeah.
What? Were you gonna start disputing that?
No, look at his face.
No, I'm all. It's weird. I saw a picture from Donna Matrix's.
I got a little gray going on right here. I don't know.
It's crazy, like how fast it happened. I saw a picture from like Donna Matrix's birthday party, which was only maybe a year, maybe 2 years ago. I'm fucking all gray from then. It's a fucking nightmare.
That's good.
Well, the reason why Justin B. Wolfie definitely looks younger than MZ. Well, that's mostly because he is younger than
That
me.
is true.
5 years,
That's
full
not
years
fucking why,
younger.
though.
5 full years
That's
younger.
not the only reason why.
Although, to be fair, MZ is the oldest and definitely doesn't look it. So,
Yes.
I don't know who the youngest
Johnny
looking is.
Wolf-
I would say
Monster
he
Zero
looks-
almost died laughing.
That has
he's-
nothing to do with his
but he
looks.
looks
But
young.
it has nothing to do with my looks. I would say
You
that
look dead.
Raven Shadow looks the youngest in spite of everything.
Well, he is the youngest.
He looks
I
the
think.
youngest.
Don't look at his lungs.
Yeah. he's got the
Don't
young
look at his internal organs.
He has some shit dying inside.
I can only. Oh Jesus! If you splayed him open, can you imagine what must be going on inside it?
I thought these things
Inside his
snuck on the
body right
outside.
Jesus!
Yeah, it's a lot of, I could picture a lot of colors.
No
No,
colors,
no,
just
no,
black.
just-
the strange
straight
color.
black.
The strange colors of Michael Ravenshadow's internal organs.
Just black.
Varying shades of black.
Yeah.
I'm more black.
Picture the hair and the shirt that he's wearing. That's pretty much what you see on the inside of
A
him.
little bit of gray. I got problems.
You don't say.
Got issues.
Justin B says MZ does look good though for a guy that can eat a 3-pound burger.
Well, I do my best.
You also look like a guy
You-
that can eat a 3-pound burger. Fair. Like,
You've also eaten 6 hot dogs at Spike's Junkyard Dogs.
Yep.
right.
And
One,
these aren't just any hot dogs. They're like
yeah, they're huge.
Yeah.
they're huge.
Yeah.
One tape
With
on dog.
with like a sub roll.
Yeah.
They don't come
do
on a
yourself
bun.
do yourself a favor and look up Spike's hot dogs, and you'll see what we're talking about. And I've also eaten 12 hot dogs from Coney Island.
Coney Island, yep.
Plus,
And a Coke.
No, you had 2 cream sodas. I remember that distinctly.
Oh, yeah, yep.
You had no.
I
let
do
me tell,
like their cream sodas.
You had 7 hot dogs. You had gone like I had actually called you up. This is years ago when I ate hot dogs. I called MZ. It was like, hey, it was like a Sunday afternoon. I'm like, hey, you want to go to Coney Island? He's like, oh, dude, I just got back from there. I was like, okay, well, if you want to go, I'm going. If you want to just go again. He's like, yeah, what the fuck? I'll go again.
a bunch of us went there because it was me.
Was it?
you,
Okay.
I think Double D might have been there.
Okay, I couldn't remember if it was one of the times because he and I used to go a lot together.
Yeah.
So I couldn't remember. But so he said on the way there, he's like, oh, I just had 7 dogs with sauce, right? You got with
Yep,
sauce?
always with sauce.
Always with sauce, which is chili.
It's
and,
delicious.
And he had cream soda. So we get there again, and he gets another 7 dogs with sauce and a cream soda. So this is within 2 hours he had done this.
You ate 14 hot dogs in 2 hours?
12. It was 6 and 6.
No. I'm almost positive it was 7. Almost positive.
The second time?
I thought it was both times you did 7.
No, it was 12.
No?
I remember it
damn.
being 12. 6 and 6. I went there twice
That's
in
not
like
as
a
fun.
3-hour.
Yeah,
it was
that's
like
really
a 3-hour
it's
window.
not that much better.
Yeah, I know, but you know what? Accuracy is everything. Accuracy counts in something like this, and I like to say yes, 12, not
Raven
14.
Shadow, how many can you put down?
Although I will try for 14 if I was ever given the opportunity.
I think I've done 4.
Yeah, you
In
don't
one
have,
sitting?
You wild
you can't
man.
fit. You can't fit much.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, you don't have to. You don't gotta fucking stuff it down. You know?
Well, 4 of their hot dogs weigh more than you do.
You
and
devour a small pizza sitting here.
yeah.
Well, yeah, true. Yeah, and I can eat. When I want to.
What
I want to.
I don't like to be forced to eat.
I ate a waffle today.
A waffle, that's it?
How big was it?
And I drank a lot of coffee. I had an espresso, 2 coffees. So that was what I had for food. I'm trying to finish my short story, and it's going poorly. You know why? Because I'm a very bad writer. Spoiler alert, short story is going to be bad. And I also, to fucking make Aries happy, guitar's going poorly, too. So everything just fucking sucks.
How's the photography?
I didn't get a camera yet. I did fucking pass out the other day with my guitar in my hand trying to write the story, though. I, fucking woke up with the
You
fucking
fell asleep with what in
strings-
your hand?
With the guitar and, on my
Oh.
lap.
My dog in my hand. It's not your dog.
Oh, you bald-headed beauty. Oh my God.
Oh, you do that again? Jesus. Fucking guys.
So is there more to the story, or is that?
I don't remember what I was talking about. My life is
You were
fucking
doing
awful.
shitty in writing, shitty in
shitty at
guitar,
everything.
shitty in photography.
I thought I had a good song going.
But you
and
don't
then
shitty. You're not shitty in shitting. So
And then
go
I'm
figure
good
that.
at that.
He's very good at
yeah,
that.
yeah. Alkaline Trio fucking ruined songwriting. Everything's terrible. I hope I die. I just
Well,
wanna be
look at
dead.
it this way. Someday you will.
No, well, not soon enough. What's sad is it's probably going to be before you, which I think is fucking. There's no way. Even when I had I bet you when I had cancer, I was not third in the death pool.
Look, it's not like you're gonna kill yourself
Who
or anything.
who is number 1 in the death pool, by
Come
the way?
on.
Like, I wonder who's leading.
It has to be.
Everyone pointing at Raven
It
Shadow.
has to be.
Yeah. Well, that'd be the fucking flip side, though. I'd be the one that lasts.
You know what, though?
Oh,
like,
wouldn't that be a bitch?
other than
I'd be okay with that because then I wouldn't have to put up with you though. Like,
other than your, I mean, obviously smoking is a big thing, but I think it's going to hit you hard when you're like in your 60s.
Wait, well, what the fuck? What am I gonna do then? I mean, like,
You're gonna.
What are you
smoke
gonna
and
do
You're gonna
then?
drink.
If you like take care of yourself, you can live till like you're fucking 80 or 90 just fine.
you can live to you like 125, like I'm gonna.
yeah, I don't know if I want that, man. I don't know if I want it. I don't know. I don't know if I want to live that long.
Why?
I don't know. 'Cause I mean, what am I gonna do?
I don't know. Any number
being
of things.
Being a fucking, then they get fucking like dementia or something, or fucking incontinent.
Dementia.
Dementia.
Dementia pet.
I'm gonna harness my dementia.
Yeah, great.
Do a thing like unto iron. No, I don't know, man. That's too.
So
long.
you don't want to live long.
Leave the party early, man. Don't. No
Leave the party early.
No
Since
one-
when did
Man.
you ever do that?
welfare.
You can't.
No, all the time.
Yeah, all the
He
time.
leaves the party
Every
early all
show.
the time.
Well, because then if I stay long, then I'll just drink more, and I just gotta go home. I can't be driving.
I can think of a number of occasions where you drove home when you shouldn't have been driving.
Oh,
Okay,
yeah.
well,
Oh,
that's-
yeah.
that was
Many,
staying-
many,
that's-
many, many.
Yep.
I'm enlightened now. No, that's bad.
Matter of
Those are
fact,
bad. Actually, don't do that. Don't do that.
There was one time you drove home, and literally I sent you downstairs not to drive. And when Aries went to come get you, you were fucking like a spider halfway in between this with your fucking long ass arms and your legs like pressed
Oh, I
against the
remember,
wall,
yeah.
lying on the stairs because that's as far as you got 2 steps down.
I don't think that happened.
No,
I know.
didn't.
I know. I was sent downstairs. I know that. Well, I don't advocate that. I don't recommend that. We don't endorse that.
Didn't we do a show just recently with you completely shit-faced?
No, that wasn't him. That was Aries.
That was Aries.
Oh, that was
That was
Aries.
last
That's
week.
right. Oh, yeah, that's right. That's right. That's right.
Yeah. I was talking to Coney about that. He enjoyed it.
Not drunk.
Stop.
Dude,
You were not
You
slurring.
what?
You were slurring, dude.
You were like you sounded like Mike Tyson.
You know how you argue with me sometimes?
Jesus.
This time the crux of your argument was, how can you say that that's not an authority figure when that guy is an authority figure? And I went, that's not what I'm trying. How can you say, answer me, that guy is not an authority figure? What guy?
It was pretty bad.
That's pretty good.
Hey, y'all can fuck off.
Oh man. All right. Well, we should probably get moving a little bit here because I want to make sure we have enough time for the film discussion, and then also want to make sure we're timely when we're supposed to talk to Chris von Hoffmann. So we got about an hour until we speak with Chris. So maybe we should.
Yes, let's.
What are you doing, Mars? Oh, I thought you were talking into your mic.
No, I am. I'm making notes. Sorry.
All right. About dementia?
About dimensions.
All right.
I know all about dementia. I live with it 3 times in a row.
Okay, before we start this discussion of the movie,
Yeah.
are we planning on having this director on anytime soon? It's not going to sway my opinion or anything. I just want to know.
Unlikely. And it's a duo, a directing duo.
Yeah, don't be sexist. See that?
So we are going to take a break, though, Raven Shadow,
Thank God.
because I know you probably need one.
Yeah, actually, I'm gonna do some sit-ups.
You're not going to do a fucking.
Actually,
You can't do a setup.
Actually, I'm concerned. I'm getting a little gut Johnny. I realized the other day.
Really?
Yeah.
What, like fucking 1/8 of an inch?
No, like it's not good. It's not. It's getting there. I don't know. It's
How much beer do you drink?
I don't want mind your own business.
Well, cut down on your fucking beer. There you
well-
go. That's
well-
all you got to do.
Well, what's the second option? What if that wasn't gonna happen?
Drink low-carb beer.
Not helping. What is there a pill I can take?
Is there a pill?
Can
No.
I-
Go run a lap.
Yeah.
Raven Shadow.
Buy
it's,
yourself some Dexatrip.
It's really easy.
Yeah.
It's calories in, calories out.
I don't know. You lost me.
It
Oh,
Run a lap.
God.
Run?
Go run a lap.
Yes.
the best way to lose weight is just by eating well. Exercise will help, but that alone is not going to make you lose weight. Like you need to do both.
You have to treat yourself better. Like me.
Raven Shadow, treat yourself.
I'm
Treat
trying like that.
yourself.
Yeah, pills and scotch, perfect. No, 'cause, if I did like 6 sit-ups a day.
No, it's not going to make your stomach go away, you asshole.
No,
Do people think doing sit-ups is going to make your stomach go away?
I see people doing it all the time.
Well, sit-up builds muscle, but it doesn't get rid of fat.
Yeah, it doesn't get rid of fat.
All right, so no sit-ups then.
You
Like-
can do them, but it's not going to get rid of your
Like,
gut.
we call them calisthenics, the jumping jacks. and things.
No, that. But what's wrong with having a little gut?
A little punch
you
and
need-
John. Little punch and John.
Yeah.
Punch
What's
and
what's
John.
wrong with having a little gut? I mean, come on. You need some weight on you, dude.
Yeah, it's right there.
What
though.
would you know about having a little gut?
Well,
He had
A
one
long
once
time
when he
ago,
was 12.
a long time ago, I was thin.
He's like, hey, I had a little gut for dinner.
I was.
I think step
While
one
ago.
is not stopping at Burger King for dinner.
Well, that's all Johnny's fault.
It is not
Why
Johnny's
is it my
Oh,
fault?
way to go, Johnny.
Yeah, because you don't eat
I-
pizza anymore.
Yeah, and I bring my food. Why don't you bring your fucking food?
You drove down Park Ave. There are numerous choices on
Not
Park Ave.
Not Park Ave.
Why don't you stop at Moe's?
You,
Welcome to
you,
Moe's.
You
Get-
went from your store to
go to-
Webster Square.
Go to Chipotle. Get a
Why would
salad.
he go that way?
Yeah, no.
Go to Tony's Pizza. Get yourself a cheeseburger sub. For $10,
There
you'll
you
get
go,
a sub
fucking
like
Richard
this.
Simmons. Yeah,
Nice.
yeah, helpful. Fucking slim, good body.
Thanks, Wilson Fisk.
Yeah. Listen, and by the way, children, in case anybody saw that, that was not a handful of pills.
No.
It was 2 pills and candy. So
Yeah, right.
like, no, like,
It's a
but
Tic
I am
Tacs.
in a lot of pain from my scarf debacle. So I can't move my head.
Just say a line so we can take a break and get this thing
All
going.
right. So if you guys want to help support the show, head on over to trickortreatradio.com, and there you're going to find a few ways you can support. Scroll down and look for the Amazon logo. Click on it. It'll bring you right to our Amazon page, and it puts in our affiliate link. It doesn't cost them any extra, Michael Raven Shadow.
But it helps keep the lights on.
That's right. So if you guys want to help out, most of you shop on Amazon anyways, go ahead and use our link, and we get a little bit of a cut of that, so we'd appreciate that. And also, we have a store on trickortreatradio.com. Just click on the store. We got some digital goods, greatest hits volumes 1, 2, and 3 of Trick or Treat Radio. We got some physical stuff on there as well. So give it a look and help out that way. And if you haven't done so yet, feel free to give us a 5-star review. We actually got a new one, and I was just about to read it, but for some reason it's not loading up. I'll see if I can pull it up, though. But we did get a new one, so we actually got a few. Only one person wrote something, but we did get a few people who left just the 5 stars, which we appreciate.
Wow, thank you
So thank you guys.
to everyone.
I don't know why it's so weird. I'll pull it up. I'll pull it up after. It's just not coming up. Oh, real quick, Raven Shadow.
Yes.
You said you listened to my episode of the Buzzcast.
Yeah, I did.
You
I
liked
did.
it?
I fucking. What did I say to you? I said it was really nice things.
I know. I wanted you to say it on the air.
Oh, yeah.
I need my ego stroke once in a while.
Oh, is that a euphemism?
If you want to find out what Michael Ravenshadow said about
Yeah, hack into our texts.
yeah. No, it's very nice, very nice. I got home yesterday and I saw the post. I'm like, I'm gonna check that out, see what Johnny's up to, talking all smart, talking all raw,
smart,
Raw dogging it.
raw dogging it. And the first one was I'm 22 minutes in. I'm really digging your episode on Buzzsprout. And I'm like, no, Buzzcast. I corrected it. Right? It's Buzzcast, right?
Yeah, Buzzsprout's the company, but
Oh.
they call it. Yeah, so you were sort of right either way.
I was covering the bases, the company, the name. I'm
Yep.
doing that stuff. And it was over. I said, you were fucking brilliant, dude. And I said, super dope, man. You rocked.
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate that.
You know, you sounded very eloquent.
Thank you.
You could have mentioned, your friends.
Well, I
my
did
name.
mention the show.
Well, I know. You could have said, Raven Shot is pretty cool. And the other
Well,
one.
make up your mind. Does he want to mention friends or mention you?
Oh, wow. Then I fucking got Aries here. Knows I didn't send you text that you were fucking doing good.
So let's
You do good things. You do good things.
Raven Shadow, let's kind of parlay this into your little shtick here. So you sit down to watch Let the Corpses Tan. What do you do?
Oh, first I check out the dulcet tones of Johnny Wolfenstein
Ooh.
on the Buzzsprout podcast from the Beans.
Bean sprout.
The Bean Pot.
Let's go. Do it.
we just go to
I sent him a nice words. I give him some, texting sexiness, and then I
Kill me. Kill me.
I strap on.
Do you love a scary story? Do you love to dance? The Big Scary Monster Hunts at Midnight is a collection of dark songs about sex, love, death, revenge, and the end of the world. Brought to you by the world's greatest monster hunting electroshock band, The Deadites.
This is Matt Kennedy of Astron 6. You might know me as Manborg. You might know me as Father John Sullivan in Father's Day. But what's important right now is that you're listening to Trick or Treat Radio.
What's up, y'all? It's me, the Yeti. I'm the guy who put the Leia back in Himalaya. And as I'm wandering around the mountains up here, checking out my Twitter feed, there's nobody I like to follow more than my good friends the Deadites. The Deadites make songs, fight monsters, podcast, and they're on Twitter. What the hell else do you want, you selfish sons of a bitches? At any rate, you want to follow the world's greatest electroshock monster hunting band? Like your friend the Yeti does. Go to Twitter and search for @TheDeadites and let the fun begin. All the Yeti bitches love the Deadites. So if you want to meet girls, especially Yeti girls, follow the Deadites on Twitter at the Deadites. Peace in the Far East, everybody.
I can tell you I'm never coming back on this show. Especially now that I did that thing that you just didn't do. Which I will be sending you an invoice for.
We're back at Trick or Treat Radio.
Wolfie will tell you.
What?
What
do I tell you?
He asked me what Bill's real name was, and I told him it was Bill Bifrost. It's like Dutch.
It's like Bifrost.
Right, but it's Bifrost. I can't say it, but that's what it's Bifrost.
You know what? You know what the Bifrost is, right, Aries?
Bathroos. I do, yes.
It's kind of like that. All right, we are going to talk about Let the Corpses Tan. Now, this film, by the way, Mars, you like the usage of Guns, Gold, and Time?
Yeah, I did.
But you can't hear it because you don't have your headphones
No,
on.
I heard it.
Okay.
And there was gun, golds, and time in this movie.
Exactly. So, Let the Corpses Tan from 2017. This film was just released on VOD in 2019, though. I guess this has been hitting festivals for a while. So, it just hit VOD, though, in at least in this country. It is unrated, 92 minutes. It is a, I guess, crime thriller, but I would say little spaghetti western, a little Eurocrime, a
lot of things.
A little fucked up. And it is written and directed by Helene Catet and Bruno Forzani. And it stars Alina Lowenson, Stefan Ferreira, Bernie Bonvoisin, Michelangelo Marchese, or Marchese. How do you say that? Marchese, Mark Barbe, Marine Saint-Silly, and Pierre Nice. And the synopsis, I'm actually going to read this other one. I'm not going to read the one on IMDb. I prefer this other one that I found. Every summer, Lucy, an eccentric 50-something painter, spends her time in a small and isolated township which lies in ruins in southern France surrounded by guests. This summer, these guests are Max Bernier, an old flame, author, and alcoholic, her current squeeze, a lawyer named Bisorgwell, and 3 friends of his whom she has yet to meet, Rhino, Gross, and Alex. After finishing their shopping in town, these 3 unknown attack an armored truck and make off with 250 kilograms of gold. Then They then return to Lucy's place, counting on her to hide them until the end of summer. But certain events will throw a spanner in the works, and the hamlet will transform itself into a battlefield over the course of a very long and turbulent day.
Oh, that's what this was about. I have a bone to pick with you. You know
Before
why?
we even get into anything, you got a bone to pick
Yeah,
with me.
because you lied right fucking to us. I know that I will.
How did I lie?
I looked after. Like, you said that this was allegedly his most cohesive, most linear
No,
thing.
a review I read said it was it was what did I say last week?
It
was
a
the
lie.
most. No, I didn't tell you a lie. It's what I read.
Mm-hmm.
It was the most approachable or something like that.
Yeah.
You don't agree with that?
No.
I think so.
First of all,
This
stop.
is way more accessible than Strange Color of Your Body's Tears.
All right. Well, I'll give you this, but this is not as accessible. It's almost more accessibleness makes it less accessible, if that makes any sense. Like, it's almost like more confounding that it has some sort of fucking hook in 1 foot in reality. Yeah.
So this duo has previously directed 2 other films, A Mare and The Strange Color of Your Body's Tears, which we discussed a couple of years ago, which I enjoyed, and I think MZ might have enjoyed it, at least parts of it.
Yeah.
The Giallo parts.
Yeah.
And
I
I think
the Giallo portions of that movie were done rather adequately.
Yeah. You know who didn't enjoy it?
You.
Tiny White, and that's why he's not on the show anymore. That's all
That
your
scared him
fault.
off.
Way to go, Johnny.
I don't think that was it.
That's it.
At least that's not what you tell me, Mars.
Well,
you
I
tell
know
me
it
it's...
makes me feel- it's Ravenshaw's fault, but hey, I didn't say it. It's just what Tiny said.
No, Tiny likes me.
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't call me back or anything, but
Doesn't
Tiny-
answer my emails, nothing.
Does he answer your emails?
I don't
I don't think he answers anyone.
Well, no, he's true too.
You don't
Yeah.
like me.
He answered me, Johnny, and Matrix 3 weeks later, like I'd asked him a question 5 minutes ago.
like, yes.
That's
So-
exactly what he said. Yeah, fine.
So A Mare was their debut film, and also they did O is for Orgasm, which was one of the shorts on the ABCs of Death. And so A Mare got some pretty good critical acclaim. I still actually haven't seen A Mare. I keep meaning to, but it's got some pretty good critical acclaim. And then Strange Color of Your Body's Tears obviously had some pretty good festival buzz, and I was really excited to see it. And I ended up seeing with Professor J at the Boston Underground Film Festival.
Well, the monocles were flowing that day, I'm sure.
Yeah, they're fucking spinning in the air.
Yeah, seriously.
That's the
So you're
worst
saying
part.
Professor J has bad taste?
Yes, that's the worst part. If he likes this movie, yes, that's a good taste in women, bad taste in movies. Like, and that's the worst part of this fucking story. That's the real calamity of The Strange Color of Body Tears. You saw it. You got it out of your system. So it was a conscious effort to inflict that level of pain on us.
It was a trap.
Right.
It's a trap.
That's why the world greatest, dopest tag team got made, because of that movie.
It's
See,
true.
that's your fault too.
Yeah, way to go.
Is that true? Is that?
Yeah.
Am I? All right.
Yeah. It was, in fact, what do they call it? They call it premeditated.
Mm-hmm. It's true.
I thought it would be an interesting discussion. Is that so wrong of me?
Yeah, she hated us.
I didn't know you guys
Hey,
were
look,
hate
not
it.
every movie could be a winner, okay?
Yeah.
I mean, that's the whole point of us doing these sort of things.
Not
We
everybody on this
review
side of
good
Aries could
films.
be.
It'd be
We
very
review
boring
bad.
if everyone loved every movie we watched.
Yeah.
Well, you don't like any of the movies, so
I do enjoy some of
and
them.
the ones that you do like, you just at the end come on and say, "I liked it."
Except last week.
Right? No, that was,
well, because I didn't like it.
we don't know why yet, though. But
I did.
Dude,
Fuck
you were
off.
pretty. You were pretty.
Oh, fuck off!
you said at one point you said, "I'm so mad at you guys because I don't see what for this movie." And we said, "What?" And you said, "I just don't understand."
Evil Corny says, "Make sure Raven Shadow sends me my stuff before he leaves."
Listen, I'm fucking trying, Corny.
You're not trying.
No, I got a
No,
plan.
you're not.
I have an action item list.
You're disappointing him.
Action item list.
Yeah, that's what you call it.
You're
It's a good plan.
disappointing him.
Listen. Well, I disappoint a lot.
If it wasn't for this fucking storm, I would have been over your house this past weekend.
Wait, it's not snowing on Saturday.
Raven Shadow. Justin B says, "I love the way Raven Shadow grabs his mic when he tried to do that sexy voice."
Yes, I do.
There he goes.
Yeah, baby.
Stroke it. Come on.
Oh yeah, JB.
Jamie.
I got something coming your way too, baby.
Yeah, it'll be there in about 7 months.
No, 7 years maybe.
Be like Barry White, baby. No, I got a table.
There's
full
somebody
of
that
things.
still doesn't have somebody like Rev Scott or somebody still doesn't have their fucking 8x10 from like episode 80. So
He's gonna come up here.
he's been up here twice.
Yeah, he's gotta hang out with me. Yeah, Reverend Scott's gonna get one. I'll call him.
You have 8x10s?
Let's get back
Yeah.
to this movie.
You owe about like 30 people.
Maybe
8x10.
at least a
Yeah,
bare
I do.
minimum
Yeah.
of 30.
No, I got a plan. I'm gonna have someone help me.
Who? Aries?
Why
Someone
can't
named
you do it
Aries.
yourself?
Because listen, there's
What?
a lot of.
This
there's
is
a lot
all
of-
right.
there's a
All
lot
right.
of-
This is insane. This is insane.
Ugh.
I'm fucking trying.
You're not.
You're not trying. That's the problem.
We should do a whole episode just based on this situation.
It's coming.
Like what? Like all right. This will just answer this question.
Okay.
And we'll go back to the movie. When someone says they're trying to do something, they took a step towards it. What step did you take?
He
to
took a
cause a
step
trial.
down the stairs.
Yeah, so I'm like, oh, I got kind of corny as shit.
The entire time he's smoking, he stares at it going, I gotta mail that fucking shit.
What was I supposed to be doing? I was doing something.
And you could just picture all the stuff in a corner of a room saying, "Mail me, mail me."
With like arrows, and Ollie comes downstairs, looks all cute, and I rub his belly. Then I get fucked up, and
All right, this movie.
Yeah, please.
So I got to admit, I'm not well versed in Eurocrime. I think Mars, you might be a little bit more well versed.
Maybe a little. That's my
Yeah.
blindest of blind spot. Like I would say for me, it's spaghetti western,
Yeah, you
And
know
then, like-
spaghetti western.
and then like horror, then gore horror,
Yeah.
and then probably like Mad Max ripoffs, then Giallo and
Yeah.
Eurocrime.
How about you?
Yeah,
MC?
Eurocrime. I let me tell you, I know a guy who knows the ins and outs of Eurocrime.
Mike Malloy, right?
Who?
Oh,
No.
I thought you were friends with Mike Malloy. Okay.
No. His name is Mike.
His name
Martinez.
is Mike Mullally.
No, his name Mike Martinez.
Okay.
And I worked with him about 10 years ago.
Oh, okay.
And this guy knows the ins and outs of Eurocrime.
Yeah, it's
One of
just
the biggest fans of Eurocrime I've ever met.
it's just one of those genres that I just haven't got that deep into. But this clearly takes some cues from that, and and I would say I'm probably gonna a couple of people in this room are probably gonna drop dead after I say this, but I definitely feel a Jodo influence as well.
No, there definitely was.
No, there definitely
Okay.
was.
I thought you guys were gonna.
What? No, no.
No, there
No.
definitely was. Like, there's
Yeah.
some scenes in particular, a crucifixion scene.
Yes.
The results of the crucifixion scene that were right out of like Holy Mountain or El Tuco.
Yeah, and also just
Not-
the way some of the shots were for the skyline and
Oh yeah, yeah.
and overlooking the sea and the land and everything like that. From high altitude. I mean, it looked very Jodorowsky.
There was a shot where somebody was hiding under a little overhanging and people were walking above it. That was very, very Jodo. Like
Yep.
the way the whole thing was, because like the people were partially like cut off,
Yeah.
and like you know what I mean. Like so, it was like kind of like a wrong Jodo type thing to do. Like one of the things that he did that's like not the right thing to do. But
Here's I know this isn't going to help the people listening at home or the people watching live, but I'm just going to show here some of the posters for the films that inspired this, and you can actually see some of the visuals. Like this one right here, I can't pronounce it. It's in French. TR encore C2 puis, but you see the hand coming out of the ground. That was in the movie. There's this one here. I'm not even going to try that one, but you can look at the posters and see some, Lee Marvin in Point Blank.
And Angie Dickinson.
Danger Diabolique. Yep.
Yes.
And I don't know this one either. Proximus.
Yeah.
that's the story of a man and his hair dye.
The Laughing Woman. Road to Selena. Cry of a Prostitute.
I've heard of that.
That's one I've seen. yeah.
Sombre. That guy's awesome.
It's awesome.
And here's one of the Let the Corpses Tan
That's actually a pretty cool poster.
poster.
I
All
actually-
the posters I've seen are great.
All the posters are great.
Yeah.
It made me wish that I didn't. How can I be diplomatic about this? It made me wish
Don't
that
be,
I
just-
didn't fucking hate this. Like that it almost didn't make me throw my Amish heater at my television.
Pap says parts of this movie look straight out of the 70s.
That's a fact.
Yep.
That's very true.
All right.
Yeah, like we were saying, there's a lot of Jodorowsky. There's a lot of Aronofsky in this. And a bunch of others, man. I had them rattling off in my head, but now I can't remember. But I know Jodorowsky and Aronofsky are definite influences in this film.
Well, and plus they have their own style clearly because, like they do this thing. It's hard for me to really describe, but it's with the colors and slow motion. Like they do this thing that they've done in every single movie, especially even in O is for Orgasm that they do it as well, where they do the slow mo, and it's especially prevalent in the scene with the glitter. When the woman's being covered in the glitter.
And the gunshot scene.
The gunshots,
the
yeah.
gun getting, not the glitter gunshot thing, but the clothes getting blown off.
Yeah, that was insane.
That was awesome.
So I'll just come out and say it. This is gonna be a polarizing movie. I honestly, less than 5 minutes into this film, I made a note and said, I already know Aries and Ravenshaw are gonna hate this.
Fair.
I don't know if that's what they're going to say, but I just felt this wasn't for everyone. And one thing I will say in his favor is, and this was a mixed soundtrack. It wasn't. There may have been some original music, but it was a lot of older stuff that they used. Yes, it was, and it was fucking perfect. Like this is like almost how Tarantino does the soundtrack. Where he uses old kind of familiar stuff. And uses it in a really cool way, and I thought the soundtrack for this was fucking top notch. Like it hit all the beats and was used very well.
There were a lot of nods to the Italian '70s style type of filmmaking, especially towards the beginning of the film, with the use of garish color. Not only in terms of the paintings at the beginning where you see the bullet holes being blown through the paintings of the red, the yellow, and I think the blues, but also the use of camera trickery where they I don't know what the term is, to be perfectly honest. It's where they like invert the colors, so like whatever's in the background is like now completely black. And whatever figure is in front of it is now like shadows of reds or blues or whatever. And so that they take that from a very early '70s style type of filmmaking, something like you see from say like very early Jess Franco.
Yeah.
Or maybe even early Fulci before he went into giallos,
Mm-hmm. One thing I know Raven Shadow will enjoy about this is the amount of smoking.
Well, yeah, I mean, I don't know if that's the best thing to discuss tonight, but it was from the jump.
And drinking.
Yeah, I mean,
a lot of drinking. Yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, like from the jump, I knew. Okay, well, I'm interested.
So before we get too much into opinions, which I want to jump into that, I think there's going to be a lot of them. Some of the other things I loved. I thought the heist scene was fucking awesome, like with the Frankenstein masks. I just thought that, and the editing in this is sometimes a little too hectic, but that one scene nailed it. Like I love the way they edited it. Like everything about that scene for me was fucking perfection almost.
Yeah, the editing in this movie was actually quite good.
Yeah.
Throughout.
And I can understand some people are going to be annoyed by some of the editing because it's a lot of quick edits, and also because they stuck to this chronological order. They went in order of the night obviously just unfolded linearly, but they always updated and showed you the time of when things happened, and they even went like back in time to show a different perspective.
So see, I like that aspect,
yeah.
Especially at like a key moment. Like they showed 3 or 4 times the same scene from a different point of view.
Yeah, and I thought that was really interesting, especially when like there was like a gunshot, so you see what happens here in this part, and then then they go back to that time and show from another perspective and see what the reaction was of the other person during that gunshot or whatever. And yeah, I thought that was pretty, I wouldn't say unique necessarily, but it was interesting and definitely created a cool perspective for every character of how they dealt with these events. So I think this movie had a lot of good going for it, but I know that it is a bit of a hard. It's difficult to understand exactly what's going on, and that is sort of the basic premise is easy to get. These guys perform this heist, they steal this gold, they're hiding out, they're waiting for the right time to escape. Simple. But there's a lot of other imagery that's involved in this, right? Especially this long-haired character who I don't know if that was that even supposed to be Lucy? Like, obviously there was something that happened when that long-haired character visited a character. Typically something happened to them.
I think that she was supposed to be I took it as like a death, basically.
Yeah, and that's I was not that it's super spoiler, but I was tiptoeing around that. But yeah, it's almost like Lady Death. Or
I
just
think
like
death brought on
general.
by guilt, maybe, if
Guilt or
something that
greed
they
or-
showed actually had happened.
Yeah, and a lot of those scenes where the characters encounter this death character were pretty out there. Like there was the scene where she was urinating on one of the guys. And there was the crucifixion scene, definitely straight from something out of like a Jodo film.
Yeah.
So it's not something that was completely foreign, because obviously if you've seen Jodorowsky, you've seen a lot of this sort of imagery, But it's one of those things where it doesn't make complete sense on the first watch, because you kind of are like, whoa, what the fuck's going on here? And then towards the end, you can sort of piece things together a little bit more. But I do think that it would require another watch to understand how they all tie together in a way. So,
yeah, I think you're right about that, because, I mean, like you said, it was a fairly easy movie to comprehend. You got the gist of what was going on in the first half an hour of the movie.
Yeah.
But you had so much style over substance that I think the substance started getting lost as the movie progressed. And it relied more on the style aspect.
Yeah, and that is definitely a hallmark of their work.
Yeah, and I think that's where I started saying, you know what, I really want to like this, because it is so stylish. It has all the trademarks of or most of the trademarks of Euro cinema 70s style. But at least still in Euro 70s cinema, a movie is still fairly easy to follow. The plots weren't so convoluted back then. Here it feels a little convoluted because the style just overpowers everything, and it's very hard to follow what's going on afterwards. I mean, I felt like at some points you feel like you can. You feel like you catch up to it, and you think, okay, I got it, and then something else happens, and it throws you completely off again, and that kind of ticked me off.
Yeah,
and I hate saying that, because I really like the look of this movie. The look of this movie is an absolute powerhouse, and the style of it is so good, but everything else is just kind of thrown on the back burner.
And the thing for me, right up until the heist scene where they robbed the gold, like I felt like my adrenaline was like pumping, because I was like, the way that was edited and even those fast where they're driving the car, the getaway, like I thought that was super tense, and I was like totally on the edge of my seat for that. And I think that really went a long way for me to keep my interest in the film. And when it started to get a little bit more fractured in terms of the narrative, where it was showing what was happening to the different people, I think it started to lose me a little bit, because it wasn't as cohesive. It wasn't driving the plot forward. It really was a lot of setup as to here's what's going on, and I thought that was fairly straightforward and fairly linear with that with the style over substance. But then about halfway through, it got a little bit more fractured in terms of they focused. I would say, I mean, I don't remember how the time passed, but it seems like more time passed in the first half, and then the second half they really focused in on the events of that showdown or standoff, if you will. So I feel that started to drag a little bit, and I still enjoyed it, but that definitely took away a little bit of my enjoyment, because it was it was at a breakneck speed, and then it just slowed down. So it was a little jarring to sort of reconcile that. If I had known coming in, I might have felt differently. I wouldn't have had those expectations. But when they set a certain pace and then take a, basically like stepping on the gas and then just coasting in neutral for a little while, even though there was a lot of stuff happening, there was a lot of gore, there was a lot of really cool shots, I feel that the narrative, they kind of stepped off the pedal a little bit, and that slowed things down. So, well, we got about a half hour before we need to connect up. So let's I want to hear from you guys because, and I'm pointing at Raven Shadow and Aries because I have a feeling what you guys would.
I can't wait to hear what they have to
think, but I definitely want to hear.
Good.
Oh,
go ahead. You guys got nothing to say.
And I'll just
Dynamite
piggyback
drop.
off of you.
There you go.
I'll just piggyback
I'm
off
gonna
of
tag
you.
Aries in right now.
Hot tag.
Tag.
You got in the ring and then just immediately tagged out.
I'm
the champ. Tag.
I won't. Please, anyone out there, if you're listening, if we have fans and we have people listening in South Africa, all over. There has to be a professional hitman in our audience. I will do anything if you kill me.
We're like Bullworth.
Anything except have my cat.
Bullworps?
Billworps.
Butterworps.
This is Butterworps.
It's terrible.
Okay, then continue to talk about the movie.
You guys don't even want to talk about it.
No. Mars doesn't want us to talk about it, so please continue to talk about the movie.
I don't have anything to say about the movie. I already said it all.
It's essentially the statement you just made.
Wow.
It was kicked over to us, and you said, please kill us. Please kill me. Essentially, you don't want to listen to our opinion about this movie.
No, I don't want to listen to him say
Who?
that
You pointed.
Raven Shadow not have an opinion about the movie. Raven
Did
Shadow. See, you don't pay attention to your surroundings. That's your problem. I think it comes with having dimension.
Dimension?
Is that he kicked it over to you guys.
And I was about
he
to talk,
looked at
and you
Raven
said,
Shadow,
kill me.
And Raven Shadow said,
Well, he was very quick to kick it to me, and then your next statement was, kill me.
Mm-hmm. I don't want to hear this if that's any indication. Like, if this is what happens, I'm just as soon dying. But I'm interested to hear.
Let's hear what Aries has to say.
I don't want to offend Mars.
Good. Wow. Man.
I want you to offend Mars,
actually. To quote Tiny White, Aries is the frailest of all the little frail trees.
Well, what do you want?
I don't know. Drink some more. You were less legible, but much easier to get along with.
Heath legible.
I mean, well, okay, yeah, I'm sensitive. You hurt my feelings by that statement. What do you want me to say?
Your feeling.
My feeling, yes.
Yeah, but you weren't why I wanted to die, and I think everyone here except for you knows it. Even
I don't know that because it was kicked to me. I was about to speak, and you went, "Kill me."
Yeah, I didn't see you speaking. I had my eyes closed because I couldn't even believe what Raven Shadow had said.
What did I say? Now my feelings are hurt.
We didn't say anything. That's why.
So I think that's indicative of something. I thought I wanted to hear Aries.
Raven Shadow, did you like this fucking movie?
All right, here's a funny story, Johnny.
I doubt that.
No, it's been a weird fucking weekend.
You didn't watch it.
They'll get all upset down there.
No, you didn't. You didn't watch it.
Listen, it snowed over the weekend, right? And it snowed Sunday.
All right, I don't want your excuses.
No, I'm telling it. But what? Now I can't. What do you want from me?
The truth.
You can't handle it.
Two things happened this weekend.
Yeah, everyone had to deal with the snow.
No, all right, three things happened this weekend.
Everyone had to deal with 0 degrees.
Will you just
listen?
Review the movie. Enough of your reasons. Just review the movie.
He's saying he didn't see
it. Did you watch it?
This is a discussion program.
Didn't.
No, two things happened. That involved.
You should be in the fucking Trump fucking cabinet.
Answer
the fucking question.
Listen, I am. I think that's what we're trying to do. What I'm trying to say is, and I think what Aries can agree with, and I think will all bring us together, is the fact that,
Mars, do you have that assassin's number?
What?
Can you tell him to fucking hit me next, please?
So it's like podcasting with Jeff Sessions.
So what sucked is I get done shoveling, right, in New England. It was a monstrous snowstorm, and I'm tired, right? I'm tired. But you know what I do? I get ready to watch the fucking Pats, right? Go Brady is going to be playing Kansas City Chiefs. Could we go road to the Super Bowl? I get excited. Take a shower. I sit in the comfy couch.
Will you remove the movie?
I am.
Review it.
So what happens is I watch the first fucking touchdown, right?
Johnny, honest to God, kill me.
And then fucking, I'm like, oh, it's going to be a fucking game. And then I wake up to the fucking highlights. I fucking slept to the fucking Pats
Swear
game,
to God,
right?
I am gonna fucking crown you with this.
So my back fucking hurts now. I pulled the muscle. It hurts when I sit. Aries saw me.
No,
wincing.
actually, maybe you should do sit-ups to
I
help
will-
your core.
Wait,
It's not going to lose that belly, but it'll help the core.
Yeah, my Green Lantern core is fucking real nice. So anyway, I sit down to watch the movie last night. Get it.
Now, do you understand? This was coming, and I knew it. I knew it.
We've been trying to get a review out of you for the past
And you got
5
mad at
minutes.
me.
6 minutes, and it hasn't happened yet.
It's a discussion. So what are the odds? 2 days, a couple more removed, I sit down to watch the movie, and I woke up at fucking 1:45 in the morning. I saw the guy smoking. Full disclosure.
Full.
So, short story long, you didn't watch the movie.
Listen,
Why couldn't you have said, no, I did not watch the movie?
because I wanted to add to the discussion, and I
And
figured
that's
I'd
nothing.
tell-
It had
It
nothing.
had nothing. It wasted time.
Listen, I think we can.
I'm
going to
tell Chris von Hoffman that if we're late for the interview, you're the reason.
I thought
I worked 28 hours,
Yeah.
watched the Pats game. I stayed awake for it,
Oh, fuck.
shoveled my own driveway, and watched the movie.
He worked 28 hours in one day.
Yeah.
Well, he's a god of war.
That's not easy to do.
No, but
Do the math on that.
I can't do that, and B, it wasn't my fault.
All right, so we're not going to get anything out of him. So, Aries.
You're like the fucking Coke Zero of film critics.
Wait, it wasn't your fault?
It wasn't my fault
How is it not your fault?
because I didn't want to.
What?
What?
No, I.
You don't want to watch it?
No,
Is
it
that what you're
wasn't-
saying?
No, I probably didn't want to watch it, but I was going to watch it. But it wasn't my fault. I was always in prime to watch. I was in where I watched TV, and I had everything there. I had a snack. All it was there. And
Were you off on Monday?
no.
All right.
Raven Shadow's job hates Martin Luther King.
No, and I worked on Wednesday. I don't have a Wednesday backup plan, so I fate conspired against me and took control, and I wasn't able to watch the Pats game.
Fate.
Or
You
this
cannot
movie.
take accountability for your actions.
Why would I have to when there are other things involved?
Is Rudy Giuliani your lawyer?
No, he is Rudy Giuliani.
No, I have Feinstein and Fugazi. That's my law firm. Italian, we got him on speed dial.
All right, Aries.
Thank you.
Aries. Since we're not going to get shit out of this guy.
Oh, you got shit out of him. Yeah.
So there you go. It's everyone out there. It's been 0 days since the last time Raven Shadow didn't watch a
Yep.
movie.
We should
Set one of the two clocks back.
Yeah, listen, I wanted to. I didn't see the Pats game either.
I did.
I knew
Oh,
that
would
this
you-
was going to happen, and you yelled at me.
Yeah,
That's
I
all
yelled
had
at
to
you
say.
because that was essentially an attack on me.
It wasn't.
You know what? Hang that mic up.
No,
Hang it up.
people on the phone.
Then hang your mic up, not in your crotch. We don't want to hear what happens in your crotch.
Hi, everybody. My name is
Hello, Brian. How are you? Yeah, right from the get-go, this movie wasn't holding any high hopes for me. French subtitles. I was, yeah. But actually, surprisingly, this movie did not lose me until I actually really got into the movie. All the initial heist and all that, I was on board. Surprisingly, It really, I got excited. There was some good shots in there. The whole color shots. I don't know what they're called. The black and red, and black and blue, and all that.
Yep.
That was very, very good. I loved all that. If you had watched it, you probably would have saw Marv in those shots from Sin City. There was a mask.
Oh, yeah.
With those shots, it looked like Marv.
Oh, see, that would have been cool.
Yeah. Oh no, it was very cool. It ended up being Frankenstein, but
I could see that though. Yeah.
Oh, you should have called me.
No, you would have been asleep.
You woke me up.
But yeah, after that happened, and then the movie really picked up, it really just started losing me. It lost me fast. There was some good shots in it. There was like some good edits, some good shots, but the story, I was lost. I don't know if it was because of the subtitles, where I was, I'm subtitles right off the bat distance me from a movie. Okay. It takes me a step back. You confuse the plot at all. another step back because I don't get the visual at the same time I'm getting the audio because I'm reading it, I'm not seeing it. You know, it's how I process things. I'm a little slow with things sometimes. My apologies. But I lost who was with who and why. Like there were many factions that broke down to, and I couldn't figure out who was with who and why it broke down to how it was. It was
it was a little difficult to keep track of, especially I wouldn't say it was too dark, but in the finale, like the final like half hour, it was filmed in darkness. I think they did a good job.
Very dark, yes.
They did a good job of lighting people's faces so you could see what was going on.
Yeah, and they used a virtual cornucopia of color for that. Too,
yeah,
which was
which I think
also very very Eurocentric.
And I think that's a success that they were able to do that. But because of the darkness, it definitely was a little difficult to tell, aside from the faces, where people were, who they were with, things like that. So I concur.
And this movie also was loaded with symbolism that
Mars just started randomly laughing.
Please. Okay.
Can you read that to Johnny Wolfenstein so it's not from me?
Okay. Tell Artie Farty Wolfie to give it up.
All right, who said that?
Keep going.
It's great context here.
Yes. What the hell? What did I say? I don't remember what I said. Symbolism.
You lost
The
yeah,
symbolism.
Yeah,
You're
symbolism.
talking about symbolism.
I remember what you said because I think you brought up a point that we don't often think about. The fact that, like, to word it like you worded it, they kind of like lose the plot a little bit, flip the plot, and you're expected to read like a lot of subtitles at the same time. It's sort of not fair to kind of fucking pull the carpet out from under you, right, when you're trying to like follow like a big expository dialogue, right? Like I agree with Aries.
I mean that's probably the main reason why I don't like subtitles because I feel you lose something reading and trying to catch what is happening in front of you, visually happening in front of you. I feel you cannot take both in at the same time. At least I can't. So I feel that always takes a movie back a peg.
Now, when you read subtitles, do you read it like boom, 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 and then try to read it? Or do you go, try to take it all in one boom, and then...
in one boom, boom.
What if they don't say boom?
No. You don't try reading it word
I
for
understand
word.
what he's saying. Believe it or not. I understand exactly what he's saying.
You understand this motherfucker?
I understand this motherfucker. When the subtitle pops up, I have a little mini panic attack. My eyes go down, and I try to take it all in at once.
Okay.
Ooh. Which, with the way my mind functions, sometimes it's complete gibberish. But I try to take all the words in at once, and then read it.
Yeah.
Because a lot of times it disappears before I read it, and I maybe can piece together. I saw a word that I didn't read. What did they say? And type of thing. Okay. But yeah, I understand what you try to take it all in a mass,
right,
and then read it afterwards. Right. Yeah. No, I'm with you there.
Okay, good.
Oh crap! That's not a good thing.
So Monster Zero.
That's I'm with Monster Zero. Yep. Oh boy.
How about that?
Either your IQ is heightened or lower.
But no, the symbolism of the movie, I feel I didn't understand it. I didn't get it. I know it was there because I know people don't bleed gold. So,
do you
speak for yourself?
But so I knew it was there. I understood that it was happening. I didn't fully understand it. And if you don't understand it, it's takes away from the movie. And that's not the movie's fault. That's my fault. I didn't understand what was happening.
Okay. Yeah.
I don't agree. I think it kind of is the movie's fault. Though, like if we're watching The Raid and that happens to you, then maybe there's an argument to be made that is your fault. But like, this movie, like, I think asked too much for your eyes.
I probably was not this movie's audience.
I don't know who fucking the bedridden and sick. I don't know who was this movie's audience. Like, I broke this movie. I was trying to break this movie down. I feel like when you watch things, you're deciphering it, right? And I was trying to decipher what was going on here a lot of times, and I just couldn't put the pieces together. It was like Sin City, a fucking boob juice, like a Lady Gaga video.
What
like,
are boobs juice?
I know boob juice.
Oh, juice.
Juice.
Yeah,
Juice.
I'm not
Yeah.
Michael Ravenshaw's job.
Hey.
I'm not prejudiced, but yeah,
Juice.
like I felt like there was all these like images that actually I felt like detracted from the film. Like it's okay. Hey, I'm a Refn fan. It's okay for a movie to be a lot of style over substance. But this movie, I think, tried too hard.
Exactly.
Like I felt like as I was watching it, I was like, some of these things are really fucking cool, but then you have to fill in to the next part, right? And I feel like, I don't know. There's a movie here that's a little simpler that could have been great. The female lead, when you have a femme fatale in your movie, right? You want something to happen, right? You want to see her. You want her image to be burned in your head no matter how they pick to be it. And you want to, like, have mixed feelings about her. You know, and the insanity of this woman came right off her. I don't care what anybody says. I know she was an older woman, but I thought she was striking. And
Oh yeah, she was
beautiful.
Great,
Yeah, I
Gorgeous.
think that like it was. You had this great set. You had a great setup, maybe a little tried and true, but you had a great setup. Like a couple different sort of variations you can do it on. You can do it just a home invasion-y thing, or you could have done a fucking Texas Chainsaw Massacre home invasion-y thing. I just felt like this movie... I feel like all the good things I just mentioned were incidental. And I feel like all this other stuff, whether it be the cool stuff that, like, you know, I whether it be the cool mask, like, I thought that was cool. And, like, I agree with both of you guys that my kind of fucking adrenaline was up. I was pissed when the fucking directors, their names came up fucking 15 minutes in. I wasn't very excited about that.
That was a little weird.
Yeah.
I'll give you that.
But, like, I feel like they fucking kicked their legs. I felt like this movie at this point was running as fast as it can, and then some fucking dude with a monocle and a fucking
Was me.
ascot like walked up and fucking kicked its legs out from under it and started fucking having glitter fucking Lady Gaga video
Glitter
stuff
bombs.
happen everywhere. Yeah, it was fucking like not like, oh, we're gonna do Jodorowsky and we're gonna do our own fucking gimmick thing. And we're gonna do when people have like I even feel this way about the like Tarantino shoots through doors a lot, which I feel like is a subtle Tarantinoism. The fact that Tarantino is still finding reasons to shoot up through trunks, that's a little irritating, as much as I love him, right? The fucking looking through the fucking knothole scene that these people fucking cram in everything that they do is the most fucking irritating, intrusive, dumb thing ever. I don't care for it. I don't care for that aesthetic at all because I can't. I'm instantly like, here's these guys' fucking gimmick. I've seen 2 of their movies and they did it twice. So I think that there's an awesome movie in here, but if you boiled it down what could have been awesome, I feel like it's all incidental.
Did you enjoy the sort of Western feel to it? Or did you not really feel that it was...
I just didn't... Like I said, I think the best way I could have put it, and I didn't really think of this till I was listening to Aries and MZ talk about it, was that...
Not Raven Shadow.
Aries could have just as soon killed me instead of yelled at me, and then I would have saved me both getting yelled at and hearing Michael Raven Shadow. But, like, I felt like it was like a film strip of scenes that didn't go together. Like, somebody took a bunch of photographs that were photographs of these people, right? Like, went through somebody's Facebook thing. But they weren't, like, all of the same time. It didn't feel that. And it's ironic because they had, like, such a close, tight-knit time frame. But because of the fact that it had, like, kind of a dream logic and it kind of went off and the days, because of that, it was daytime, nighttime, daytime, nighttime, and all this other stuff happened. Like, I couldn't. And I'm not even saying in a way, like, I'll take the blame a lot. I'll say that this movie just wasn't for me. It didn't resonate with me. But I watched this pretty intently. My special lady friend, or whatever she is now, was somewhere else, and the cat was asleep, and it was just me in this fucking movie, and I just couldn't make it work. I couldn't put the pieces together that they were giving me, and I think in this case, it was a failure on the filmmakers and not a failure in me. At least in that other fucking movie, whatever it's called that I hated last time.
Strange Color of Your Body's Tears.
Like, I knew what I knew who everybody was. I might not have known exactly what was happening, but I knew who it was happening to. In this one, I felt like it was dark a lot, and they kept fucking cutting to meat for no reason.
There was more characters in this. It was more of an ensemble piece.
A couple of them looked very similar. And
I felt like characters just showed up without any introduction. Like,
that cop kind of wandered in after at one point.
Well, no, like the cop. I mean, they showed, but I don't know. Like, maybe I wasn't fully paying attention, but it seemed like there was more people walking around.
I think they showed them early on quickly, and then you didn't get a frame of reference really, because I at times I was like, "Whoa, have we seen this person before?" And then I realized that I knew them by their names, like the lawyer or the writer, or whatever. So that's when I realized. But yeah, it wasn't super clear at all times.
There was a woman who showed up at one point that was running when people were shooting, and I wasn't positive. I wasn't positive who she was then, and I wasn't positive who she was if she ever popped up again. It was just like somebody randomly ran through the movie.
We do need to start wrapping this up a little bit because I want to make sure we get to the verdicts. So is there anything else that someone wanted to bring up that we haven't discussed?
This is going to sound a little weird.
Yep.
But I did enjoy the naked man running around. Ooh. I thought that was an interesting aspect that they completely caught. Everything happened, completely caught this guy off guard.
Yeah.
And was naked.
Yeah.
And you saw him debate running to get a pair of pants off the clothesline.
Right.
and it was just like, oh, I feel your pain. Like just you're caught in a gunfight naked.
It's one of those
you risk
things,
your life for pants.
Right, exactly. It's one of those things where I think if any of us were in that situation, we probably would have that same dilemma.
Oh no, yeah. This is fucking why I don't sleep naked.
Are you
That's
a never
the
nude?
reason?
Huh? Are you a never nude?
Never. I don't even like one of the things I've taught that my therapist thinks we need to work on is the fact that I won't take off scarves till 10:30 on a weeknight and 11:30 on a weekend night because I'm afraid somebody's gonna show up. Yeah, I'm never nude. I double dress. Most of the time I'd fucking
double dress.
Yeah, most of the time I just fucking fall asleep anyway these days. So.
All right. Well, I think we can probably safely head to a verdict on this one.
Trick or treat, baby.
I wonder if people would say you're a trick or a treat.
Trick or treat, motherfucker.
All right, verdict time. We're going to let you know whether this flick was a trick or a treat and any final thoughts we may have. Aries.
Just skipping right over you, motherfucker.
Yep.
You might call upon me.
There were aspects of this movie that were good, but all in all, this movie was not for me. If you agree with any of my other reviews, yeah, definitely skip this. This was definitely a trick.
MZ?
When I think of Eurocrime films, I think of films
you
like...
touch yourself. When I think of Eurocrime, I touch myself.
I think of Special Cop or Live Like a Cop, Die Like a Man or Superfuzz. This film, it wants to be a love letter to 70s Eurocrime, and it does to a certain extent, but not to the one that I feel very fulfilled about. It's highly stylish and it looks gorgeous, particularly those the daytime exterior scenes.
Oh yeah,
and the interior scenes for that matter too, I might add. But I think this movie misses the mark on what it wants to do. I think it loses its way, unfortunately. If you're into really highly stylized films with some convolution, then by all means watch it. I'm gonna have to give this a pass. This is a trick. I do not recommend it. I don't think it's that good.
Convolution?
Yeah. Everybody's doing a brand new dance now. Come on, baby, do the convolution. Take two words together and sign them together. Come on, baby, do the convolution. It doesn't even matter if it makes any sense. Make lightning in a barrel.
Convolution says.
Convolution says.
Yeah.
Come on, do the convolution trick.
Is that all you got to say? All right. I am going to stand alone then. This is a treat for me, and I'm not going to. This is probably not going to make the top. I mean, as of right now, it would because we haven't watched 13 movies, but this probably is not going to make the year end. This to me was sort of just over that the treat sort of line. Mostly because I was like so into this in the first like half hour. I was totally on board. I loved so much of what they did. And then it did sort of lose its way a little bit, but I was still interested in what was going to happen and the characters. And, and it did get a little too surreal at times, perhaps. But there was a lot of things that I did like. I enjoyed when they showed sort of the top-down view of like the map, and there was those ants all running around.
Yeah.
Like I thought like scenes like that were really inspired, and then when the water started dripping on it, or maybe it was urine, I don't really know, but when they were dripping something on it and then it started raining, like there was just some really cool sort of meta scenes here in this. And this is a film that I do want to watch again, mostly because I don't fully grasp everything that had happened, because as I was working my way through, I'm like, I can see how this would relate to some stuff that happened earlier. So I probably will want to watch this one again. I don't see myself watching it probably more than one more time, but I just want to see if I can make some of the connections a little bit better. But stylistically, I mean, I can't think of filmmakers nowadays that are like have as much style as these two with Helene Catet and Bruno Forzani. Like their films are just gorgeous. Maybe there's like a Panos Cosmatos or some other directors that do it better. I'm not saying that they're the best at style, but their style is really stylized, and it's really pretty, and it's really gorgeous. And so I like a lot of what they do here, and I liked the feel of it. I liked the sort of spaghetti western Eurocrime thriller. Like I thought it was a really interesting mix, really cool setting. The soundtrack was top notch. So if anyone out there is even remotely into Eurocrime, I would recommend checking this out as sort of a curiosity piece, because it's one of those ones that people are just, it's just, I see people either liking it or hating it. And granted, you guys were sort of on the fence because you did like some stuff but didn't like enough. So maybe it's not a polarizing film or as polarizing as I had expected. But yeah, this was it was an interesting watch, and I'm glad that I did see it. And this is going to be hit or miss with people. So if people out there get a chance to check this out, if you watch Let the Corpses Tan, I'd love to hear what you think of it down the road. So feel free to send a voice message or an email at any time after seeing this. So we also have I wanted to mention we had some people hanging out in the chat room we haven't seen in a while. Mars, brace yourself. Drive Jack and Mark.
Whoa!
Yeah. He says, "Hey guys," and he says, "Damn, I was looking forward to watching this."
Well, you can still watch it.
And we also have Convolution Jones hanging out.
Yeah.
He says, "Oh boy, this movie was straight up poop." That must be Dynamo Mars.
No. It's probably Round Trip Jones.
All right, so that is going to do it for our discussion of Let the Corpses Tan. You be the judge. Check this out if you want. It is highly stylized, highly cool. The editing is fucking this. We may not see a better edited movie this year, or at least a movie edited this fucking crazily.
The editing was really. It's so disheartening because there's so many good things to like in this movie, but just the story is just so fractured and just not.
Convolution.
not very well put together. No, not convolution. Not very well put together.
This is one of the most convoluted movies that I've ever seen.
Treat.
Drive Jack and Mark says, I'm getting married, Rusty Bits.
Whoa,
What?
whoa.
Oh yeah.
So
well,
wish me luck.
tell Rusty we said hello.
If Drive Jack and Mark's getting married, holy shit.
balls.
Yeah, out of anyone who I didn't think was going to get tied down, that's the man.
Wow.
You know
She
what?
must be a keeper if that's the case.
We should make this like a family thing. Someone like if he wants me to engage to his sister, like I'll do that.
Jesus Christ!
I'll move to the Death Continent.
You know how to ruin everything.
I don't know, but she's
He says that was meant to be today, not Rusty Bits.
Oh.
He's getting married today?
today.
today?
Wow, you
Holy
and that policeman are finally tying a knot.
Doors open, unlocked. Locked.
Yeah, no, they're locked. He's using the fucking chain now and the deadbolt.
Oh man.
Well,
Wow.
congratulations, Drop Jack and Mark. Yeah, congrats, buddy.
I can't believe.
We love you, man, and we're super proud of you. And we're happy.
I'm
for
very
you.
happy for you.
Just know that forever is a long fucking time.
Raven Shadow can.
I'm
can
just
coach
mad at
you on
Wolfie,
this.
but I'm proud of you.
Well, all right. You're mad at me, Mars, for this movie?
No, I'm mad at you
What?
because I said that. He said convolution, and he had that fucking excuse, and I ruined everything.
Who said you ruined everything?
You did, just like 2 minutes ago.
No, I didn't.
Yeah, you did.
Well,
how you
that's
do it.
because you went creepy.
Yeah, it was
it's
'cause
called-
that-
It's called romantic.
That's romance.
Wow.
This is-
okay.
this is
it was
creepy.
just in relation.
Off of my tits.
That's not creepy. It was it was someone who is like the sister of like one of our friends, and you're talking about
That's
like,
even. I'm not talking about. I'm talking about like.
Could be a cousin.
Yeah. Talk about marriage. It's nice.
all right.
I
So
just need a place to live.
Yeah, forever has a shelf life.
so if you guys were mad at me for this week,
You get fucking pissed.
Oh, I'll drag you out behind the dumpster.
next week, Netflix movie starring Mads Mikkelsen called Polar.
Yeah.
He plays a hitman or an assassin.
Call him.
I think you guys are gonna dig this one.
What are you looking at me for?
Mads Mikkelsen. Pick
Do you know who Mads Mikkelsen is?
Yeah,
Hannibal.
high school with him.
You did not.
Used to eat paste.
He used to eat paste.
That was weird.
You don't even fucking know who Mads Mikkelsen is?
Everyone knows who fucking Mads
Who?
Mikkelsen.
Who?
He's a fucking guy. He's a star of the Netflix original Polar.
Oh, shut up.
Am I wrong?
Just shut up.
Not wrong.
So he played Hannibal on.
Yeah, he's the fucking guy who eats people.
Yes.
That's not the Hopkins.
Please, can we just go to the studio?
Manhunter.
Manhunter, yeah, he's the Red Dragon.
Yes.
No.
Oh, no.
No, he was on the TV show. You
That's
asshole.
what I'm saying, based on the book Red Dragon. Everybody knows that.
You saw Rogue One, right?
Yeah,
He was Jyn Erso's dad.
yeah.
Doctor Strange?
Yeah.
Yeah, he was the guy
He was-
that
yeah.
fought Doctor Strange, the bad guy with the eyes.
The bad guy with the
He had
eyes.
the black on the eyes. That's good. He's a good actor. I'm looking forward to him. He does the cannibal thing. He does the magic thing. He does the snow thing. All these things. Welcome back to
Wow.
Dirk Mark. Yeah,
Wow.
This is nice.
All right, so
I'm having fun with you. I'm having fun.
you know, no.
It's not fun.
You don't watch the movie. I'm not having fun with
It's
you
not
on
my
the
fault.
show.
It's not my fault. My back
It
hurt.
is your
It is
fucking
your fault.
It is your fault.
I laid down and
I'm sick of your lack of
I broke my neck almost.
I'm sick of your lack of accountability. This is ridiculous.
You're not the
You
only
come
one.
up with more excuses than a 10-year-old.
Well, listen, I can drive and I have a bedtime, so I'm doing better.
But you just sleep all the time, which is ironic.
What's fucked up? I watched the Meg though.
I did too.
Shut up.
Wasn't that
man.
better than it should have been?
Yeah, yeah. I
Oh, so
agree.
you watched the Meg, but you couldn't watch this.
Well, yeah.
To be fair, the Meg has Jason Statham in it. He's very handsome.
All right. All right.
Did he take his shirt off for
Like
Yes.
3-4
oh
times.
my fucking god, he's always wet.
He drove a fucking little submarine. He was very
No,
attractive.
Statham is awesome. I can't deny that.
And he fought a megalodon for real.
For real. There was no CGI. They found one and he fought it.
No, it's really his muscles.
What are we doing with our lives?
My head.
All right, so next week we're going to do Polar starring Mads Mikkelsen. And if you guys want to check it out, it's going to be on Netflix starting
couple of days.
In a couple of days. I think it's
Yes,
Friday
Friday.
the 25th.
No
I believe.
guess. No
25th.
guess.
One that's a maybe.
God damn it.
Yeah. So I thought it was locked down, but then there was some questions. So, but we will announce that when we can. So we're gonna head to a break, and then we're gonna connect up with Chris von Hoffmann, and we'll have him when we return. In how long, MZ?
2 and 2.
You go through your week with the same old routine.
What you really want is some blood and thunder in your life.
Well, friend, you found it.
The Cromcast is an adventurous journey through the history of two-fisted pulp stories
With your hosts, John,
Josh,
and Luke.
we have action,
horror,
An adventure, all through the lens of pulp luminary Robert E. Howard.
Don't just stay in your ordinary life.
find your pulp life at thecromcast.blogspot.com.
The Cromcast,
The Cromcast.
The Cromcast!
a podcast for the barbarian at heart.
I'm Alex West.
And I'm Andrea Subasati, and we're from the Faculty of Horror podcast.
And you're listening to Trick or Treat Radio.
Oh, delicious nerds. Ms. M knows you like to chat it up with other sexy shut-ins about comics, movies, video games, and your favorite TV shows. If that sounds like you, cuddle up to the Trick or Treat Radio Facebook group, or the FIB. That stands for Fan Interaction Board. Just go to Facebook and search for Trick or Treat Radio and have more fun than a Jedi at a lightsaber sale. Not enough? Watch us on YouTube, The Deadites TV, all one word. Last but not least, check out the world's most dangerous talk radio show, Trick or Treat Radio, at trickortreatradio.com.
This is turning out to be a great night after all!
All right, we're back on Trick or Treat Radio.
Hey, everybody.
Was that 2 and 2, MZ?
Yeah, it was pretty damn close, man.
All right, so we just talked about Let the Corpses Tan, and now we're going to have an interview. So we're going to go ahead and bring in, actually, I think this might be a first. Well, we may have done this once before, but when we review a movie, and then we have the director on the following week. So this may be the first or second time. I don't remember. I think actually we did have it when a director got angry at us, right?
Yeah, the director
ago.
of, was it The Ghastly Love of Johnny X?
Yeah, that's right. So hopefully Chris isn't mad at us, but we are now joined by the director of Monster Party, and also he did another film in 2016 called Drifter. We're joined by director Chris von Hoffmann.
Good. Yeah, good to be here, guys.
Hey, Chris. Great to talk to you, and we appreciate you taking some time to hang out with us. And we just checked out Monster Party last week, and generally we dug the flick a lot. And we had a lot of we had some people asking us to review Drifter when that came out, and I don't remember the reason as to why. It was on our list, and it just didn't happen because I think there was just some other stuff and that we did, but I'm kind of regretting it now, especially after seeing Monster Party. So if you would just maybe take a couple minutes and tell folks out there, if they hadn't heard our review or if they're not familiar with Monster Party, maybe give the elevator pitch or give just a few words about the flick.
The story is essentially, it's pretty straightforward. A story about these three kids in the valley that sort of like small time thieves, and they end up infiltrating this mansion dinner party, posing as waiters. And then over the course of the evening, the people running this dinner party, like the hosts and the guests, are this sort of secret society of recovering murderers, essentially, and shit. Pretty much, it becomes like a survival film by the second half of the story.
Yeah, and I will say that scene in the bathroom, the "Give me your hand" scene, was fucking insane.
that was that was fun times.
Yeah, was that a conscious effort on your part to take a hard right turn in that? Like, is that something that you wanted to do from the onset?
Yeah, I mean, I think my first movie, Drifter, was sort of like an attempt at trying to do one of these kind of bait and switch high concepts, and I think when I made that movie, it was sort of like 75% of the stuff I had to do on that movie was not even creative. I just had to sort of like make that movie by any means necessary. So I think with Monster Party, I sort of almost did like an unofficial remake of that movie, just with a different kind of setting, and trying to execute that bait and switch storyline a little bit better.
Yeah.
So that was like the main. But like I always get a kick out of those bait and switch kind of stories. I think they're really fun when they're done well.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, and that's one of the things that really threw me off, because you have what kind of appears almost as like a heist film, and then it almost turns into almost a pseudo slasher in a way, because granted, you don't have a one specific sort of like slasher killer, but you have many, and and there's some pretty grisly gore going on, especially that bathroom scene was. That just like threw me for a loop, because I was not expecting that, and there was so much blood. How much fun was that to film?
That was great. Yeah, that was oddly enough, we actually had most of the day to shoot that scene, which was very rare, based on the schedule. But it was I really enjoyed shooting that, and it was nice to like during like the whole dialogue build up scene. It was nice to like. We were able to set up two simultaneous cameras, like A and B cam, and kind of just let them riff and do a lot of like extensive improvisation to sort of just take the scene further beyond the page, because on the page it was actually quite simple with the dialogue, but so it was nice to just like see like what they were conjuring up with their improv, and but it was pretty funny with all the blood on the ceiling, because like the homeowner, or like one of the rental woman or whatever, that kind of made a fuss about it. It was pretty funny.
Yeah, I think I'd make a fuss about that too. That was my house.
No.
That is pretty awesome. And so you said there was a pretty good amount of sort of riffing on things. Was the "Give Me Your Hand," was that a line that was written, or was that more of a sort of off the cuff?
That was actually written. Like the kind of key beats in that scene were all written, but like this kind of the stuff in between, like the talking about like I'm your PO, or like you've been a bad boy. I mean, like stuff like that. I mean, those little kind of nooks were all improv, but like the main key elements were all written.
Yeah, and it came off really well, and and how was it working with the cast? Because I mean, you had a pretty outstanding cast here. You had some people like Robin Tunney and Julian McMahon and Lance Reddick, and like that. It must have been cool working with this with these actors.
Yeah, I mean, I loved it. I mean, I studied acting for a while, like in high school and like after high school in New York City. So I'm sort of I'm very obsessive with actors. I love what they do, and like I don't really watch anything else when I watch a movie. I just kind of really watch the actors' faces when I watch a movie. So I really put a lot of attention on them, and but I also am very open to their ideas and like what they want to bring to the table, and like I love that collaboration. It's probably my favorite. It's definitely my favorite collaboration when actually shooting a movie is working with the actors. But yeah, no, they were all. I mean, I was really pleasantly surprised by how extraordinarily humble everyone was shooting it, because it was a very truncated schedule, and it was like a major sprint, like a race to get it done. But and they really just brought it, never complained, and they were all just in it.
Yeah, and how long was the shoot on this flick?
It was 17 days.
Wow,
that's fast.
Yeah. That's pretty compressed.
Yeah. That is fast.
I mean, like when it was over, I was like, did we just shoot a movie? I can't even. Did we just shoot something? Like it went so it just went by so. It when you're in it, it felt like it's like you're climbing on Mount Everest. But when it was like over, like a couple days after, it felt like it never even happened.
Yeah, and just for a point of contrast, how long did it take to edit the flick?
Editing was a little tricky. It was because there were also a lot of producers involved as well, so there was a lot of there were a lot of opinions, and there were a lot. We did a couple test screenings, and it was a lot of there was a lot of cooks in the kitchen. So post production in the beginning got a little complicated because there was no post production supervisor, so like the workflow kind of was a little chaotic at times. But I mean, it took like I guess like overall the entire post production, it didn't take that long as maybe I'm making it out to be. It took about like 6 months for the entire post production of it, 7 months maybe. But then we had our like distributor screening, and then like then thus begun the time taking a little bit longer to actually get released because all these things have to come together. But post production was about like 6 or 7 months.
Okay, so it's just so funny how it's like looking at the timeline. You filmed it in 17 days, and then like obviously post production, I realize is a Herculean task, but it's just so crazy how you're able to just get it filmed so quickly, and then the real work begins, I guess, after that of piecing it together and making a cohesive narrative and everything.
Oh yeah, no, like it's a very complex process, but it's fascinating too. It's a great process to work through.
And how I didn't even intend to really go down this rabbit hole, but it's interesting to sort of talk about the nuts and bolts. But how involved were you with the edit of it? I mean, did you have final say? Were you involved every step of the way?
Oh yeah, I mean, I definitely I definitely get pretty obsessive about like every single thing with the movie, especially if my name's on it. So I just want to be obsessive about every single thing, and I can't really see how else to do it. I mean, I feel like you got to be involved in every single stage of it, and it was I got to work with a couple. I brought on a couple people from Drifter, and then the producers kind of brought on a couple people from their crew, so it was a nice little nip and tuck of like my people and their people, and like seeing that come together for the post production. So that was an interesting process, but I was definitely heavily involved, and we definitely got a lot of certainly a lot of support from the producers. They definitely like respected my point of view on the movie, and they definitely listened to me, and I listened to them as well. They had a lot of great ideas as well. So it was definitely a great collaboration. It got a little chaotic just because there were so many higher ups involved, but it was still a wonderful collaboration in the grand scheme of it.
Yeah, I was going to say that it didn't really feel that way. I mean, just as a viewer, I mean, we obviously have no idea what goes on behind the scenes, but it did feel like a cohesive vision.
Right.
And, I think that's one of the great things about it. And in hearing that there was other stakeholders that had a big say in it is a bit surprising to me, because to me, and we even mentioned this last week when we talked about it, is I think Mars had mentioned this, it felt like you were in control of what was going on,
Yeah, I mean, I think, I think I was just. It was one of those things where like they would suggest certain things, and I would totally be open to all of it, but I knew in my gut if that was going to work or not. So I just, I just felt it in my gut whether it was going to work for what I was trying to do or not. And it is a collaborative effort, but there's only like one director, so it has to be a singular thing, unless or else it just goes off the handlebars.
Now, Chris, this is Mars, and by the way, I loved your picture, and I found it very refreshing. But
Thank you, man.
I think the thing that I liked about it, maybe the most, in interpretation of film, especially when it comes from a referential point of view, is like very subjective. Something that I think I saw that you might have I might have globbed onto, that I thought you were kind of nodding at, may have not been something that may have never crossed your mind. Were there, obviously, like we spoke about like the overall, sort of like off the beaten path, like slasher tone of it. But were there any particular slashers that you kind of like took a wink at, or that you were kind of thinking of when you were doing certain things, or?
Yeah, I mean, like, yeah. I mean, I'm like a hardcore horror junkie, and I love 80s slasher movies specifically, as like most people who love horror I think do, and like kind of specifically mid to late 80s kind of slasher genre around like 87, 86. And,
and
I'm just totally, yeah, but like just with a slight bit of camp to it as well.
Mm-hmm.
But it's not. I wouldn't consider this movie to be a slasher movie at all. But I think that movie Society that Brian Yuzna directed from 1989. There was like certain thematics I was taking from that. I mean, that movie is like very overt with its tone. It's very kind of overly campy.
Mm-hmm.
But that was like the main influence that I had through and through.
Mm-hmm.
But then like just random movies like Sleepaway Camp 2, Unhappy Campers with Pamela Springsteen. just like which with like that's like a movie that I'm like oddly obsessed about. I saw when I was like 12 years old. I rented at Blockbuster with my father, and who hates these kind of movies. And I just that movie, I don't know, that movie's like there's certain tonal elements in that movie that have haunted me like ever since I saw it, and I'm always oddly subconsciously always pulling from that movie and certain nuances of that story. But yeah, I mean, like I guess like I mean, like, I don't know. There's always like, I mean, a little like Prom Night 2, like Hello Mary Lou, Prom Night 2. I mean, like, there's like certain. Yeah, I mean, I love the tone of that movie. I mean, just yeah. I mean, I'm trying to like think. I mean, there's a film called Curtains. There's a movie April Fool's Day a little bit. April Fool's Day.
There's a thing where I don't know if you pulled from it, but I mean, it's not any film in particular because a lot of different movies have done the relative in the basement, right? But what I liked is how you didn't like, for me, who has seen Grotesque, and for me, who is like, seen all these films kind of like this, you didn't like condescend to me. You know what I mean? And that was something that I loved about the movie. I felt like this was like you gave the impression that you were doing your thing, but that you were one of us, and that's something that like I really came off in the film, and that made it like super endearing to me because like I didn't feel like at any time there was a point where they had to like. You had to like do a reconstruction of horror to try to bring me into it. You were just like, here's a setup, here's a weird thing, and and now it's busting through the wall. Like I love that.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not like, I'm just really not. I'm just not a big fan of like sort of pretentious, overly art house horror. I'm just.
I shouldn't have watched the last movie.
Not really.
Yeah, no.
Oh no.
It's bad times.
I mean, like, I don't know. I'm just. I'm just not like, I mean, like, I don't know. I saw that. I mean, I thought it was like pretty. I think the worst example of those kind of movies is like, I don't know. I saw this film called The Monster with Zoe Kazan that A24 put out, and I think it was very beautifully shot and all that, and it was very well acted for the most part. But I mean, they might as well call that movie like The Metaphor.
Right.
Like it just had this.
Exactly.
It just it just had that kind of like, I was like, the flashbacks with the heavy drama. I'm like, come on, just tell me a monster movie, man. Come on.
That movie almost made me quit the show. Like I didn't do the review of that one. I left. Like it was bad. Like
oh my god.
Yeah.
I think we might have like a little love connection here. Mars is starting to blush talking to you, Chris.
Chris, I can't quit you.
What the hell's the matter with you?
Yeah.
When you mentioned Hello Mary Lou, I saw Mars's eyes light up.
Yeah.
Oh, like I'm like oddly upset. I mean, like there was like that locker room death scene is like
the
best. But yeah, I just I love that movie.
Do you ever, Chris? Do you ever eat a whole bag of Cadbury mini eggs in one sitting?
Not yet, but I'm sure I'm going to eventually.
Now, let me tell you,
you got a lot to look forward to as you get older.
It's not a good idea.
Yeah.
I may not make it out of this interview, but I was just trying to see where the where the passions begin and end.
So, obviously with Monster Party, it's. It's out there now. People can check it out, like on VOD. And do you get a lot of the feedback? Like, obviously, I'm sure you can look up reviews and stuff like that. You probably like see tons of them. But what has been the reaction so far? And are you pleased with the reaction for the film?
Yeah, I'm actually surprisingly, I'm actually really surprised that like the movie works for as many people as it does, and people that don't like horror movies as well. It seems to be working for a lot of those kind of people, like just random people that don't watch these movies that stumbled upon it that seem to really enjoy it, because it's almost the complete opposite. Because like my first movie was like I didn't really like focus that. I mean, I will admit on my first movie I wasn't really trying to. It was very much a style film.
Yep.
But and so it the reviews were like very. They were like very mixed to sort of harsh. I mean, there were definitely like people that got the movie and understood it was a style film and appreciated it, but as far as like a narrative, it wasn't like the strongest movie. So I think people were a little tough on that movie, but with this movie, it was like it seemed like the complete opposite, and people sort of seem to just get it and accept it, and so I'm appreciative. Yeah, I was very pleasantly. I've been pleasantly happy with the overall reaction.
Yeah, and that's one of the things. Once you put it out there, you just never know, right? And
yeah, I mean, like that's it's scary.
It's out of your hands, and then it's just going to do what it does. And even I hate to, I don't mean to call out, single out anyone on the show, but for the most part, most of us liked it. But there, but there was, not naming names, one person who it didn't work for, and I think that's. 1 out of 5 in this case is I think is a good ratio, and we're not, I wouldn't say that we're sort of like a good barometer for most moviegoers, but but from what I've seen and from the people who have interacted with us about it have generally liked it. So I think that's a great thing. And I didn't really know much about it going in. And, just even seeing the poster, it sort of hints at what's going on, but it doesn't really hint at everything. And that's the thing, kind of like what you talked about with the bait and switch. And that's something I really liked about it. I like when I go in for not quite knowing what to expect and then getting something like way different than I even had imagined I would get,
Sure. Yeah. I mean, like, I mean, it's one of the. I mean, like, I myself sort of like, I think I've become pretty good at like deconstructing, I guess, like my own stuff and just like analyzing what I like about it, what I don't like about it, like what I want to do better on the next one. So I just kind of keep myself like 100 steps ahead of the game a little bit with my own stuff, and just want to like, I mean, when I watch my stuff, I mean, I've just. It's almost like tough for me to even watch Monster Party anymore because I've literally seen it like maybe 500,000 more times than the average person watches their own movie. So I just I like obsess over it too much, I feel.
So you had a great cast on Monster Party. What was it like working with?
We asked that, Mars.
Oh, you did?
You're out of the room, yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry.
It was great.
Yes, it was awesome. Thank you.
There you go.
Yeah. I was going to ask if she talked about Encino Man at all.
Oh, you want to talk about Robin Tunney?
Yeah, specifically. Oh,
was
see,
she
you
in
didn't
that?
ask. Oh, yeah.
She was in Encino Man? Oh my God! How do I
And
not
End
know
of
that?
Days, which I can't
I
place
know
in
that.
100
Yeah.
years.
I love End of Days.
I like one. I'm obsessed with one scene in End of Days, and I copy it any opportunity I get. Where Anna's getting beat up by all the hobos.
Oh yeah. Well, I was gonna say like when his flashback memory is like re-dramatized and watching his like mother. Watching his like wife and kid get like shot in that back room during Christmas, that scene like really disturbed me. I was like, wow, that's a big studio bold move.
I feel like the last I'm drawing a blank now, and I love this movie.
Was she
Scott
in it?
Adkins? No. Rob Van Dam. Jean-Claude Van Damme sequel. Regeneration. No.
Universal Soldier.
Yeah, I feel like the opening scene in Universal Soldier actually reminded me of that scene from End of Days. Long story long.
Nice.
But yeah, see, I was going to ask about a specific member of the cast, and Wolfie shot me down, so now I'm not going to talk anymore.
So I guess do you guys have any more Monster Party questions? I was going to move forward a little bit here. Do you have anything else, Mars?
No, I don't going to talk ever again.
You had to ask more questions about Robin Tunney. You have any questions about the craft, maybe?
No. I was curious if she mentioned if she'd have a wheeze the juice. But
Jesus Christ. So obviously we know that Hollywood can be a tough business, and like we have some filmmaker friends. One of them, Karendo Mitsutake, has been trying to get his next film greenlit for what seems like years now. So I know that sometimes it can be difficult. Do you have anything sort of in the pipeline? You don't have to tell us anything that's if it's not concrete yet, but do you have anything? Is there any movement on the next picture?
Yeah. So, I mean, like there's one feature film that we have a producer and financing attached, but we're just sort of we have a couple other things attached as well, but we're just sort of they're playing the money game a little bit with certain things right now, because it always comes down to like just value and all these things. But like that one does seem to be moving forward. It seems that's been a movie that's like been in my head for like years, and like that's actually much more of a traditional. That's much more of like a hardcore traditional slasher movie with like the slasher structure, one person. I mean, there's a lot more to it than just that, but and then there's another one that sort of like a couple writers wrote it, not myself. That seems like that also seems like it's moving forward as well, but like that's a little bit early it's kind of fresh right now. But so just kind of seeing which one gets greenlit first. It's kind of in between these two ones right now.
Nice. So it won't be long then. It seems if everything goes right till we see another flick from you coming down the pipe.
Yeah, hopefully not. I mean, I'm not someone who idles very well. I feel like I would be in like a straitjacket if I wasn't doing this.
But it looks like you do have. It looks like you contributed to a film called Phobias. Is that?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Well, that's that was cool. That was That was like an anthology movie that like Radio Silence produced, and they did like VHS
yeah.
and Southbound and all that. So I mean, this is like their next anthology project. And I wrote and directed a segment of it. Mine's like Fear of Teenagers. So it's
that's Mars's.
So, yeah.
That's Mars's fear.
Wow.
Which I know, like it's not, because it's called like amphibophobia. I hadn't even heard of that term. Because you think like pedophobia and that's it, but then like amphibophobia ratchets it up another notch. So
Yeah.
But yeah.
I'm glad to hear. I actually didn't hear that Radio Silence had something coming out. We actually had them on the show maybe a year or two ago, shortly after Southbound, and we really dug Southbound. So it's good to hear that those guys have something else coming, and that you were involved as well. That's great.
Yeah, they're really cool. Yeah, I like them a lot.
Chris, how do you feel about scarves?
Scars?
Yeah, scarves.
Do you wear scarves? Is what he's asking.
Do I wear? Oh no, I'm not. I'm a very simple person with my attire. I'm not a scarf guy at all.
I'll wear scarves for both of us.
Okay, well,
you do.
I'm honored.
He's wearing two now.
Yeah, you do typically wear two. So
I have 3 on right now. So.
3 on.
Just in case this one falls.
One other thing I wanted to ask you about, Chris, is you actually published a pretty cool article on Medium.com about 4 days ago or something like that recently, and you did it was the 10 best directors today. So you had talked about some of your favorite directors working. I guess what is sort of a brief synopsis about the article, and how did you come up with the idea to do this?
I used to like do some like blog, right? I mean, it's kind of like something that I just do more of like an in-between thing that I really like to just write articles about, just like write my own kind of personal viewpoint on the industry and kind of my favorite things, and hopefully see if other people agree or disagree. And I like to sort of start a conversation a little bit. So, but I hadn't done that in a long time. I did like a personal blog years ago when I was still living on the East Coast, and then I just sort of got sidetracked and was just like making a lot of stuff for a while. And then I just kind of went back to it. I started to do like my top 10 of 2018. I did that. And then I did like my most anticipated for 2019. And then after that, I was like, I wanted to get more into, I was like, where do I go from there? And I wanted to get something a little bit more nitty gritty into the more specifics of the directors working in the last like 20 years. So it was like my personal, what I think are like the greatest 10 best directors working today. And most of them are people that have been added for like 20, some even 30 years. That are still great, and that's when I really truly I didn't want to get one of these like flavor of the week kind of directors that have just a couple films in the last like few years, and all of a sudden they're one of the best. I just really want to look at it like, okay, these are like the real deal guys that really have built a career for themselves and are still great, and that's I feel and are still exciting for their future as well. And those are like the ones that I truly feel are the finest directors working today.
Yeah, and I just want to read through the list here and maybe get some feedback from the guys here. So, Chris's top 10 was Paul Thomas Anderson, Denis Villeneuve, and Steve McQueen. Not that Steve McQueen. Ryan Johnson, Edgar Wright, Mars.
Nice.
That's one of Mars's favorites. We also got. I'm actually not familiar with this director's work because I've only seen one of his films, but Derek Cianfrancais, I don't know if I'm saying that correctly, but
I guess like Cianfrance.
Cianfrance, yeah. He did Mars. He did The Place Beyond the Pines.
Oh, I love that film.
Yeah, which I know you love.
Yeah, well, that's got another one of my favorite things in it.
Yeah, Ryan Gosling. There you go. Also, Catherine Bigelow.
Nice.
There you go.
Yorgos Lanthimos, who I still need to see The Favorite, but he did Killing of a Sacred Deer.
Oh,
yes.
yeah.
Yeah, that was on my top 13 list.
It sure was. And Richard Linklater, who longtime, director, and also Danny Boyle has been doing it for a very long time.
Yeah.
So it's a pretty interesting list, and I would say, looking at these directors, there's certainly. I know you had said that you're not a big fan of art house in horror, and I wouldn't say these directors are necessarily art house, but they have definitely a style and a vision with their films that that they typically do a really good job on following through from beginning to end.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I mean, I guess I don't know when I say like art house horror, I think because there's definitely like a lot of like artistic horror film. I mean, I think It Follows is like an art house horror film, and I think it's a wonderful film.
Yeah.
But I think I think when I say that, I think sometimes like films that just sort of don't really deliver what you want it to deliver at the same time. It just sort of like, all right, we're going to be art house, but we're going to really just like meander and not really, this is what you want, so we're not going to give you what you want. We're going to do this instead. And like those are the kind of art house films that I find a little pretentious in the horror genre. But as far as like just general art house films, I think I have a tough time even saying like art house, because it just kind of sounds just pretentious even saying that. But I don't know. I think A24 is like the king of like those kind of films, like those like just classic, very classy independent films, and that really have like some boldness underneath them. And Derek Cianfrance, I think, is very much falls into that category, and definitely Steve McQueen coming from like an experimental world. And but I think those guys there's something, especially with like someone like Steve McQueen and Derek Cianfrance, like because like they come from like the much more smaller scale kind of stuff that's branching out into the mainstream now. But they I just love their boldness, and I love and I think the weight that they carry in their films, and just like the acting, like the acting in their films is just like insane. But Denis Villeneuve, I do think, is like the most exciting director making multiplex movies right now.
Yeah,
I think
I would tend to agree, because typically a director who has that sort of style and vision doesn't typically get a lot of the big budget films. And obviously he did Blade Runner 2049, and he's next up he's doing Dune. Like,
oh my god, yeah. I mean, he's just like on a sci-fi kick right now.
Yeah.
I don't know if you guys saw Enemy, but that's like my favorite film of his, with Jake Gyllenhaal. It kind of fell under the cracks between Prisoners and Sicario, but it was just like this. Yeah. I loved it so much.
I didn't even know about it, actually. I don't think that I've even heard of it.
I know of it, but it's actually one I missed. I have seen some of his other flicks with Prisoners and Sicario, but yeah, I hadn't seen Enemy.
Yeah, it's just like it's just like a 90-minute acid trip about it's like a doppelganger, but it takes place in Toronto, but it's supposed to be Toronto, and I've never seen a vision evoking Toronto as like this post-apocalyptic like dread. I mean, it's not a post-apocalyptic movie, but it has like this sense of post-apocalyptic dread lingering throughout Toronto, which I've never seen. It was a really fascinating vision to it.
We have someone in the chat room called Chris VH, biggest fan. And he says,
nice.
what a great interview. I'll have to check that out. I think he's referring to Enemy.
Oh, nice.
So... That's not you, Mars, is it?
No.
Okay,
no.
just making sure. Yeah, I think it's a cool discussion though, because there's a lot of really great working filmmakers now, and I mean, just with the low barrier to entry, with you can make a friggin' movie with your iPhone if you wanted to. Like there's no barrier to entry now except for having like a camera phone, and granted maybe you want something a little bit more than that, but you can. Like Steven Soderbergh showed that you can do it, So it is interesting that there's more movies than ever now, because it's just so easy to make them, that it is kind of harder to find these great directors, because there's just so much static out there. It goes for what we do, with podcasts. I mean, anyone can make a podcast now. Almost everyone's grandmother has a podcast now. So, it does get difficult to sort of get through the static. So I imagine that's something that's similar. So I really appreciated the list of being able to see like some of your influences and who you've been digging on for the last few years,
Yeah, I mean, like I guess my favorite director really is like Paul Thomas Anderson. I really feel like that guy is just I don't know. I mean, there's some. I mean, I don't know. There's just a certain like tone that he has. Like there's like this just boldness, like no fucks given kind of feel to his work. But it's just I don't know. It's just I don't know. I mean, Phantom Thread. I saw it in theaters a year ago, and I didn't actually care for it that much. And I was like jacked to see it. And I didn't quite get into it. And then I saw it a year later. And for some reason, I just like became like obsessed with it. And I saw watched it like 3 times, and he just has that kind of thing. I mean, I feel like he's a director that makes these films that over time they just like really get into your bones and they like haunt you almost. And I love them.
Yeah, absolutely. I wouldn't say he's a blind spot, but I've only seen a handful of his flicks. But I mean, the ones that I have seen have been quite good. So
There Will Be Blood is excellent.
Yeah,
Magnolia I think is his pinnacle. I think that's his best work.
Yeah,
I just love Magnolia. If you ever have a chance, check it out. It's fantastic.
Yeah, the documentary about making Magnolia is really interesting too. It's on YouTube. It's called like That Moment, the making of Magnolia, and it just chronicles like how they went like 30 days over schedule and over budget.
Wow.
It was like a 95-day shoot, and it was supposed to be like 65 days or something.
That's pretty nuts.
But, yeah, no, but it's great. It's really great.
Fantastic movie.
Yeah. So obviously we got you got some stuff in the works. Hopefully we get to see one of those flicks in the very near future here. And is there anything else that anything else that you're working on? Do you regularly post up articles on Medium? Is that sort of your medium of choice, for lack of a better word?
Well, I kind of just started at the beginning of January, so I mean, I'm definitely like I'm already like kind of like writing a new one right now. So I'm like,
nice.
I want to keep it consistent. Like I think it's a great like creative outlet for me, like in between projects, and I really enjoy doing it.
Yeah, absolutely. And the great thing about it is and if you post new ones, I mean, if you ever want to, just feel free to share in our group, or if I happen to see it, I'll also share it, because I just like the conversation around it of, hey, like, because I saw you also did your most anticipated films for 2019, and just having more conversation around film is certainly not a bad thing.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, I like these kind of thought-provoking pieces that, get people talking about their favorites of, whatever, their favorite directors or the movies they're looking forward to most, and, like things like that. So I definitely appreciate that. And, obviously you got some stuff coming down the pike. I'm looking forward to that slasher. So
yeah,
that should be really cool. And how about social medias? Or I don't know if you're if you post often, but if you want to, please feel free to go ahead and pimp your social media.
Yeah, I mean, I'm on pretty much all of them. I'm probably more Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. I'm all on those, and I do check all of them regularly, and I do post on all three of them. But I think maybe the main source is, actually, all three of them you can reach out to me on. I mean, like I'm pretty consistent on all three of them, so.
Cool. So if people want to go ahead and follow Chris, you can go reach out, look on any of the social media and look for, I can't imagine there's a ton of Chris von Hoffmans that are filmmakers. So, I'm guessing you're not that difficult to find.
But there are a lot of Chris Hoffmans I've seen. Not I don't know about filmmakers, but on social media there are a lot of Chris Hoffmans. But they don't have the Von, so that's where I come in.
Yeah, exactly. Well, it's a good way to distinguish yourself, and it reminds you of Dr. Doom. So.
Yeah.
For you. Or you can go with Chris Von Doom. You just go with that. So, well, we really appreciate you taking some time, Chris. It was awesome, hearing from you, and just catching up with you. And we'll definitely have to do this again sometime. And anytime you want to come on, just shoot us a message, let us know, or we'll be in touch if you got something coming up. But we're really looking forward to seeing what you got coming down the road, because. Already you've got some pretty good buzz with your two flicks, with Drifter and with Monster Party, and I think that just even I haven't got a chance to see Drifter, unfortunately. I definitely am going to go rectify that and check it out. But just hearing you talk about it and hearing some of the lessons you learned, I can only see as you grow as a filmmaker, learning these lessons and applying them on each film, and I'm excited for what you're going to do in the future, I guess is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I think I just keep pushing forward. That's all you can do.
Yeah, absolutely. So do any of you guys have, Mars, do you have any last questions? You want to see if he's likes any other movies that you like?
I'm a happily married man.
Ask him if he's got an ascot.
Chris, call me.
No scarves. I don't think he has an ascot. Come on.
I saw a picture of him. He doesn't look like the kind of guy who would wear an ascot.
Yeah, I'm just happy that you didn't ask him if he had an ass flap.
No, I mean I enjoyed Monster Party, and
you're a deplorable human being.
Thank you. I mean I enjoyed Monster Party. I'm always looking forward to more independent cinema. From young directors, and this guy certainly qualifies, and I'm certainly
this guy. He's on the air with us, you asshole.
Yes, he is.
I'm surprised. He's going to ask you in a minute, have you seen Monster Party?
So I guess as we wind down here, Chris, since it's sort of the beginning of the year, I don't know if you did a top list, but what were some of your favorite films in 2018?
20. You know, I gotta say I was not really happy with my top 10, only because I mean I saw so many movies. I saw like 57 movies in the theaters just via Movie Pass.
Wow.
But I mean, you know, but by doing that, I saw like a lot of like really just garbage movies, just at a certain point just to kill the time in between things. But like I mean, I saw Peter Rabbit in the theaters. I mean, like, I mean. But I mean, like, my favorite movie was Hereditary. I mean, I really loved Hereditary.
Yeah.
I mean, a couple problems with like the final 5 minutes of the movie, but overall, I was totally in it, and I really loved the boldness of it. And, I mean, I loved Upgrade. I loved I loved The Incredibles 2. I really enjoyed that.
I'm so excited for it.
It's great. I mean, I don't even really remember much of the first one. I still loved it. So I mean, I really what else did I say? I liked Searching a lot with John Cho.
Mm-hmm.
I thought that was really well done.
Yeah, I've heard a lot of good things. I haven't seen it yet though.
Yeah, I mean, A Star Is Born. I mean, I'm obsessed with Bradley Cooper. I have like this like weird celebrity man crush on that guy. I think he's like the best. He's like my favorite movie star right now, and I just I mean, I love like American Sniper and like Limitless and everything he's done. I mean, he's like I just A Star Is Born just really like destroyed me. You know a film that I actually really liked that a lot, you know, they had a big bidding war for it at Sundance, and then when it came out, no one really talked about it. Was this movie called Assassination Nation?
I love that movie.
I was so into that movie, and like I don't understand like why people were like. I mean, I think maybe the political subtext of it, people were really turned up, or maybe just the Tarantino millennial generation kind of thing to it. But like, I mean, I really loved that movie. I mean, I was like hardcore into it.
I think it was really tough because it wasn't afraid. It didn't pick sides to a degree. Like they didn't go a long way to make, you know, the protagonist look particularly charming, and they also somehow managed to, you know, make the statement about the leering eye and still be pretty exploitive at the same time, you know. So it was like really, really, in a lot of ways, I felt like a tough pill to swallow, but I felt like it was totally excellent.
Yeah, I mean, it's not like it's certainly not a perfect movie at all. I mean, there's like some like kind of like muddy plotting in the middle of the movie. It gets a little overly kinetic, but I mean, I just really loved like the boldness of the experience, and I really liked talking about iPhone movies. I mean, I really loved Unsane. I mean, I was really impressed by Unsane. It just felt like such a grimy grindhouse 70s movie with that iPhone aesthetic, and I really liked it a lot. But the Mule was probably my most disappointing movie of the year, the Clint Eastwood movie.
Oh, really? Yeah.
I was like, because that trailer like broke my heart. I love that trailer. I watched that trailer because it felt like a send off to Clint Eastwood, not just the character, but like the man himself, because he's like the same age of that character, and the movie was just so clunky and clumsily directed, and I just I was really, really upset with it. I was like heartbroken when I saw the movie.
I finally stole a couple hours to watch Annihilation the other day, and
that was in my top 10. Yeah, I loved Annihilation.
It like rocked me to the core. Like I'm still not. There's things in it that are still bothering me.
I'm shocked it took you that long to watch it.
Yeah. I mean, my love for that director's first film is like well documented, but like
Alex Garland.
Yeah, like for fuck's sake, like the scene where Oscar Isaac comes home and he's just like non-responsive. Like it's just like just like so scary, and it's such like it's almost like the movie doesn't even acknowledge how scary it is with the music, and like it's just like a fucking masterclass of dread. Like
Speaking of that, did you see that Richard Stanley is going to be directing Nicolas Cage in Color Out of Space?
Like it's like the Mandy producer, right? I mean, which Mandy, I wish Mandy was in my top 10. It just couldn't. It just was really kind of painful for me to sit through for like the first half. Even though I loved some things in the first half, I felt like the first like 3/4 of it were so like they had a lot of like dragging issues for me, and then like when the revenge stuff happened, it felt very rushed. So I felt the structure of it was a little like the pacing of it was a little off for me, but I still, there were so many arresting things about that movie. I recommend it to anybody I talked to. I mean, I still loved a lot of things about it.
Absolutely. The one last movie I want to ask you about, because it ended up being our number one for 2018, was The Night Comes for Us. Have you seen that?
No, I don't think I've actually even heard of that.
It's a Netflix exclusive, and it was directed by Timo. I don't even know how to pronounce his last name, but it's Timo Tjanto. and he's Indonesian director who has worked with Gareth Evans on on some stuff.
He's in VH.
It's the guy from the Raid, right? Isn't that one of the main guys from the Raid?
Both the main guys from the Raid.
Yeah, both the main guys from the Raid are in it, and it is by far the bloodiest movie that we've seen in the last 10 to 20 years, and maybe ever.
It's the most violent movie I've ever seen. I feel like that's saying
it's hyper violent.
Yeah,
it is
times 10,
and it's an action movie, but the gore and the violence is more than most, if more than any horror movie.
It's one of those films that when you were growing up, you'd be like a little befuddled that it would be like in the horror section until you watched it.
Yeah.
You'd be like, all right, I know why they put this.
Yeah,
it's still on Netflix. It's still there on Netflix. So.
That's. I'll definitely check that out.
Yeah, it's.
Did you guys see Apostle? Did you see that?
Yes,
I
love Apostle.
I like that film a lot. Yeah, I just love the opening credits. It was just right into it. Goes right into it.
Oh, yeah. Such a good movie.
I love the tone of that movie.
I always forget the actor's name, but if they made a
Dan Stevens.
Dan Stevens.
Stevens.
That's who should be Constantine. Like they should make a Constantine movie with Dan Stevens.
Such a good movie.
Yeah. Gareth Evans, I think, is like definitely. I mean, the Raid 2, I thought was way better than the Raid 1.
Yeah, it's. I mean, it's 1A and 1B for me, but like it's like just a matter of like he's so good. Like, and I'm an action junkie. Like action and slasher films are my two favorite things, but like I feel like I'm glad he made The Apostle, because it's almost like it's like if somebody made an incredible makes incredible slasher movies and you're trying to sell it to people and they just are like kind of like dismissive of the craft, and like this guy was just like, even in like watching the making of the Raid, there was some subtlety in it that I didn't even pick up, and that's after watching it like hundreds of times.
Yeah, literally.
Totally, yeah.
Well, cool. I wanted to just kind of shoot the shit and chat some film with you, because obviously you're a huge fan of it. So, we'll definitely have to have you back on, man. And I don't know if I know some filmmakers are against reviewing films, but if you ever want to come review a film with us, let's be in touch. It'd be cool to just sort of talk about the craft of filmmaking as we talk about a film.
I thought we
something.
weren't going to talk about the craft.
Oh yeah, sorry, Robin Tunney's not here.
Sorry. We's in the
no. I would love that. That'd be great.
Okay, awesome. Well, we'll definitely be in touch, Chris. And it was really awesome just getting a chance to just shoot the shit with you. And we appreciate your time, man.
Absolutely, yeah. I appreciate your guys' time. Thank you so much for having me on.
Of course, and obviously we thank you for making such a cool movie with Monster Party, and
cool.
we really look forward to what you're going to be working on next. So we'll be in touch, and we'll definitely talk to you soon, man.
All right, guys, sounds good.
All right, take care, Chris.
Take care.
All right, bye.
Okay, bye. He was cool, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah. Very down to earth.
Streaks alive, Mars, right? I think it's a new streak.
Prom night
we haven't
2.
seen that kind of blushing since Julie Meow Meow's left her last message.
Sometimes I talk to Julie Meow Meow on the phone now, and that's even worse. Can't even breathe.
I mean, I could hear his heartbeat from
Her
here.
accent.
You should hear it, man.
Yeah, listen. This is
Prom
like,
night 2.
Don't tell Blinks.
No, that was really cool. It was good. We got sort of an insight into his process, and it's a lot sort of things that we don't normally get into with filmmakers, which is interesting. So it was cool sort of chatting that, and also just shooting the shit about film. It's always fun to do that. So we really appreciate Chris's time. And if you guys haven't yet, go check out Monster Party. It's available on VOD, and also Drifter if you want to check out his first feature flick as well. And look forward to seeing some other really cool stuff coming down the road from Chris. Sounds like he's got some good stuff in the works, and hopefully we get to see some of it soon. So, all right, well, we already take 2 breaks. We've already taken 2 breaks, I should say, Raven Shadow. You okay?
We got plenty of time.
No, we don't.
No, we don't.
I have to get up early. So I guess we'll go into Mars. Did you have any announcements or anything like that?
I thought I made them, no.
Okay, I wasn't sure if you had any others.
No.
Creepy Girl just says, I love Drifter. That movie was awesome.
Yeah, she recommended it to me.
Yeah, she recommended it to all of us. She wanted us to do it on the show, and whenever it did.
I did watch Primal Rage, which she also recommended to us, and that shit was the bomb.
Yeah, I've heard good things about Primal Rage as well.
Yeah.
Was there a Bigfoot in it?
Yeah, he was fucking dressed in wood armor and shooting a bow and arrow. It was like fucking. It was completely off the fucking reservation. Like I was like,
all right. All right, yeah, Drift is on Netflix, so.
Well, there you go.
I'm good. Check it out.
I'll check it out too.
I
thought we reviewed it. Like I was positive we
No, we
reviewed
didn't.
it.
We literally almost did. Like I don't remember what happened exactly, but Creepy Girl says best creature effects. I don't know if
yeah,
it's
it's
Primal
like,
Rage.
it is really good. They do a neat thing. Like there's a lot that it does right. The acting, I think, is not as good as the script is ambitious in some places, but the 2 leads are very good.
Yeah,
or 3 leads maybe that there is, not counting Bigfoot.
They cast Bigfoot.
He literally looks like he's got a fucking Bigfoot mask. He's got a fucking Bigfoot bone axe. It's just the fucking most gratuitous. Like, he's fucking Bigfoot. He's fucking throwing things around and stuff like that. What does he need a bow and arrow for? Who cares? It's fucking awesome. He looks like a fucking...
Why wouldn't you carry a bow and arrow?
It looks like if they asked Rob Liefeld to make a fucking Bigfoot.
Whoa, he had pouches and a long ponytail?
No, sorry, not Rob Liefeld. Todd McFarlane. Sorry, Todd.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. But I mean,
he's a little bit better than Rob Liefeld.
It's like I'm not gonna be satisfied just making a Bigfoot with it. I gotta give him a fucking mask.
Give him a fucking mask.
I gotta give him a fucking signed baseball.
He's gonna throw signed balls at you. That'll be scary.
It's fucking Kyle Yastrzemski's foot.
Jesus, what? All right.
I do not know what's in this flask, but it's not treating me correctly. Hitting on, I guess.
I know that was embarrassing.
No, you were embarrassing. You started it.
When he said "Hello, Mary Lou," your eyes just lit up.
That's a good movie.
It is a good movie.
I know.
And that locker room scene is the best.
It is the best. Yeah. This what I don't know what is in this flask at all. I can't identify the alcohol.
Who put it in there?
Yeah, why are you drinking it then?
Yeah.
I don't know. It might just have been water that fermented, but it's working.
It could be lighter fluid for all we know.
I probably haven't drank this thing since the CryptoCast, so.
Wow.
Who knows what's in there?
All right.
Does alcohol go bad?
Not really.
Raven Shadow wouldn't know because it doesn't last more than 2 days.
No, I got some stuff in the basement that's been there for 1 year and then 2 years respectively.
That's not very long.
That's
sir.
not that long, yeah.
Andrea Willanen gifted me a bottle of rum 3 years ago that I'm just finishing. I drink rum pretty readily. So.
Well, yeah. Well, things don't usually last double digits, so that's good. It's a good step. The 13th.
All right. Well, let's hear some voicemail. So we got a few this week. Let's kick things off with our boy, First Time Mike.
Ooh. What's up, Trick or Treat family? This is First Time Mike. How's everybody doing? Congratulations, guys, on the Patriots going back to the Super Bowl. I have to admit I'm rooting for the NFC because that's where my Packers are from, but good on you guys for pulling out a victory again. I did have a chance to listen last week to the Narrow Caves, and the Narrow Caves I thought was a great listen. I give it a treat. It's not something you can really talk about without giving anything away. So I just want to talk about a few facts. First of all, definitely not for the kids or younger or even more sensitive viewers.
No.
I don't recommend listening unless your parents like grindhouse movies and a good horror movie. Don't have a listen to this while they're there because I think some of your more sensitive listeners might. This is a full-out 80s style horror movie done audio style. Don't want to give away anything because part of how the story develops is part of the fun. I really enjoyed the people that did the voice work on the main characters. Mm-hmm. I got to really like them, which makes in a decent horror movie makes what happens to them all the more, scary and tragic because you did actually kind of get to like these two characters, and the vocal work of Will Patton as the narrator was great. It was fun listening to him, a familiar voice, basically describe. He's like narrating your favorite 80s style paperback horror novel.
Yep.
Complete down to the scenes that are naughtier for some listeners. Also, Vincent D'Onofrio was great as one of the main character's fathers, and of course, I'm a big D'Onofrio mark from Criminal Intent, and before that, I always thought he was great. So, The Narrow Caves, I give it a treat. Well worth the download, well worth the listen. it starts out a little slow, but once it gets going, it gets going. And there's some scenes, vocal scenes in there that'll make you say, damn. Definitely wear the headphones on this one. As for the Eurocrime, it's a genre that I would pick up a lot of times back in the video store days when I would be looking for something like The Godfather, and labels like Media would have a lot of what I found out later were Italian, French, different genres from different countries. And you could always tell them because of the dubbing. It's a very certain style. As I gotten older, I've watched more Eurocrime movies. And one of the best references to this is, and I don't know if it's been mentioned tonight or not, but it's a documentary called Eurocrime, the Italian cop and gangster films that ruled the 70s. It's on, if you have Amazon Prime or Prime Video, it's on there for free. And the rental is $1. It starts at $2. Rent it. It's a great documentary, a great introduction in this genre of film. Think of like Dirty Harry, Godfather, any type of cop and robber movie, but done with a full, a lot bloodier, a lot more vengeful, very continental feel to these movies that you don't always get with the American versions of them. And it's great. It has some guest spots and interviews with like Franco Nero and the mighty John Sachs and Henry Silva, and directors like Enzo Castellari and Claudio Fragasso. Yes. I've recommended this one before. It's 2 hours 20 minutes. I heard that the Blu-ray or the DVD has other interviews, but I'm just going off the Amazon Prime version. It's 2 hours well spent. It's a great introduction, and these are movies I've sought out afterwards because they looked really interesting in the presentation. Check it out. I'll put a link in the Facebook page, and I wish you all a good day because this is my ramblings going on a little bit too long. Good night, everybody. Be safe, and again, congratulations on going to the Super Bowl. This is first time Mike checking out. Bye.
Well, thank you, buddy. That was very informative and very awesome. I'm glad you got a chance.
Fucking cool.
Yeah, he is. He's the coolest, man. Glad you got a chance to check out the Narrow Caves, and I'm glad you dug it. Hopefully you weren't in the produce aisle when listening to episode 2.
That's fucking weird, too. I was thinking about that the other day.
Did you listen to it?
No, I'm going to check it out, though.
Oh, of course. You shoveling and
listen,
had all this stuff. You falling asleep during the Patriots
did all
game.
the stuff that everybody else does.
Yeah,
all the time.
that everyone does.
Well, listen, there's a lot of things.
It's a lot.
It's a lot of culture.
If you go to YouTube, you'll find like
you can watch highlights of the game. You know that?
Well, I mean, fucking spoiler alert. You know what I mean? Like, there's not a replay value in sports. You know the outcome. Like a highlight thing, like if it's a best of,
yeah, but it's still cool to see the highlights.
Well, yeah, I ain't got that kind of time.
If you go in, I'm just ignoring him. If you go to YouTube and put in 70s Eurocrime, you'll come up with a page of a shit ton of movies.
Yeah,
all done. I imagine most of them are dubbed. I've watched a couple of them since watching this movie, by the way, and. Cool stuff. It's fun to watch. You see a lot of familiar names. You hear a lot of familiar voices due to dubbing from the great Nick Alexander. And, just check it out. There's a ton of them there. There's like 134 or 135, maybe more than that, of Italian Eurocrime flicks. It's awesome.
And just a note about Eurocrime, the Italian cop and gangster films that ruled the 70s. So
you're welcome.
Directed by Mike Malloy, who also did, I can't remember the name of his VHS documentary.
Yeah. It was like a miniseries type thing.
Yeah, let me look at his IMDb. We actually got introduced to Mike Malloy from Professor J.
Yeah.
And I think he's friends with a lot of the podcasting community.
But I bought this, loved it, gave it as a gift twice. Like gifted mine that I liked it so much and have bought it a third time. Like I really, really love this.
Oh, it was Plastic Movies Rewound, the story of the 80s home video boom, and it is a TV series documentary. And he also did a documentary called Of Worms and Dogs, The Making of the Scarlet Worm. And Eurocrime was, he put that out in 2012. So, yeah, he's a pretty prolific dude, and I've heard a lot of good things about Mike Malloy. He had actually sent us I don't know if you guys remember this, but way back in the day, we have a promo somewhere. He sent us a promo for Plastic Movies Rewound.
Nice.
So we had played that long ago when that was coming out. So, but yeah, I actually have never seen Eurocrime, and that's one of the ones I've been meaning to watch. So I appreciate First Time Mike letting me know it's on Amazon Prime. So I'll have to dig that up. So very cool. Some great stuff there, First Time Mike. We have another voicemail from, I don't know who it's from. It's a short voicemail, and it's from Anonymous. All right.
Was that Morse code?
I think maybe someone was just having some issues leaving a message or something.
Huh. Well, thank you.
Yeah, thank you, whomever.
Beep, 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 beep.
First time anonymous?
First time anonymous, yeah. All right, so let's move on to the next one, and that would be from Humble Eddie.
Hey, Trick Tree Radio, Humble Eddie here. I wanted to respond to the favorite Euro crime question that was posted on the FB, and I've been watching a lot of Fernando de Leo films over the past year. Started in the beginning or the end of 2017, and kind of continued throughout 2018, and I kind of burned through a lot of his crime films, and I was wondering, what are your favorite Fernando de Leo crime films, if you've seen any? They all pretty much held up for me, except for maybe Naked Violence. I thought that one was a little slow, or it started off great, but then kind of meandered toward the second half and just sort of made no sense. But other than that, my favorites that I've seen that I can remember, The Italian Connection is an incredible one with an amazing car chase. Rulers of the City was really great. Even though it didn't have Henry Silva in it, it was still a pretty fantastic movie. And by the end, I was pretty surprised at how it all sort of came together and was really exciting. And the final one I'll say is Shoot First, Die Later, which I saw this year and was one of my favorite first-time watches of the year. Really great movie about a corrupt cop whose father sort of finds out the levels of corruption that he's involved in, and he has to sort of just kill his way out of it, and it's really great. So Fernando de Leo, awesome Euro crime filmmaker, Italian, and just want to know what you guys thought of him and his movies, and maybe if you've seen a few, what's your favorites? All right, take care, guys.
Whew. Sorry to let you down, Humble Eddie, but I've only seen The Italian Connection, I believe, of his films. I'm looking at his filmography. None of them jump out to me. Are you guys familiar? Do you know if you've seen any Fernando de Leo films?
No, I know I haven't.
You guys have seen The Italian Connection, right?
No.
I have, yeah. I thought we for some reason there's something with The Italian Connection in this show. Like I can't remember. Maybe you watched it and talked about it, and I went and watched it. Like I
think I watched it back in the Starship days, like back then.
I watched everything then. Like I don't even count things I watched at Starship because I would watch like 7 movies while everybody else played Tekken. So
Italian Connection is on the Italians.
Hey. Talk about Ixnay on the Pirate A.
What? What is going on?
Talking about stealing movies.
I know this reference.
Yeah.
Why you stealing movies, MZ?
Yeah, where you go, Jack Sparrow?
What are you doing?
Just looking at movies.
Let me see.
I think I saw the sequel, The French Connection.
Yes. The Italian
Job. Kissing.
That's YouTube.
Yeah.
I mean, if someone allows it up there, that's different. That's not. I don't know. If you can't get it elsewhere.
I mean, I don't know what the copyright issues are with these movies.
Yeah,
anyway,
I don't know.
I mean, as far as I know, they're completely up in the air.
Yeah.
I wouldn't know, to be honest. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know that I've. I think that's it. So, Humble Eddie. I mean, you're schooling us here on Fernando de Leo. So
you should get a podcast.
About Fernando de Leo. Yeah. So I'm afraid that I guess I'll say The Italian Connection because that's the only one I've seen. So
I saw the third sequel, Miami Connection.
I don't think Fernando did that one.
I don't know. He could be an orphan.
Yeah, he could be. So thanks, Humble Eddie. It's good to hear from you, buddy. And I know I actually knew he had been watching a pretty good amount of Eurocrime stuff. So glad to hear from him on that one. All right, we have one more voicemail, and that would be from one of Dynamo's kids, Pabst.
Hey guys, Pabst. I'm just calling in. Just watched Let the Corpses Tan, and I kind of dug it. I had kind of mixed feelings about the movie. Like parts of it I thought were really cool. Like it's kind of like a Western, and like a whole like standoff kind of thing going on the whole time. But it got a little convoluted with like who was betraying who. But I mean, I thought the movie looked like absolutely beautiful, like very like visually stunning. It got kind of overbearing at times, or sort of like a sensory overload, just because like every single thing in that movie was so stylized. I know I that's kind of like the director, like the two directors like thing, you know. Kind of I had the same takeaway when I saw what was it, like The Strange Color of Your Body's Tears or something like that. But yeah, like you know, there were parts of it that I did really like. Like I liked that the gymnast from Seinfeld was in it, and they also had French Harrison Ford playing Rhino. It's kind of hilarious at times. Like I liked that, you know, rather than Dracula's, they had Frankenstein's in it. But yeah, some
Raven
stuff
Shadow
I thought
would
was
know.
just a little too,
Sexy Frankenstein.
I guess, like
for a minute.
like artsy fartsy for my taste. But I mean, that's just me. I mean, I enjoyed. Didn't regret watching it. But yeah, I guess I'd say like tepid treat. Yeah. All right. Look forward to hearing you guys' thoughts tonight. And peace.
Peace.
All right, Pabst.
Yeah,
Well,
I love him.
thanks for tuning in, giving your thoughts on the flick, and seemed like it was mostly positive, but seems like Pabst had some of the similar issues that we did. So
Of all my sons, he is the blue ribbon.
he is the blue ribbon, huh?
Yep.
Why is that?
Pass the ribbon.
I get it. Oh. Raven Shadow's
Thank
paying
you, because
attention
I'm not
for
MZ.
once.
I can't explain my
Yeah,
jokes.
exactly. You're paying attention for once. I like it, Raven Shadow.
Yeah,
Till tomorrow when Alberto comes and fixes my space button problem.
What?
Your what?
What?
My phone is like not.
Your space bum?
Yeah, my
Space bum.
Yeah, just go. I gotta go.
Come
Guys,
fix
these
my
guys-
space
I
bum.
found
Well,
a
this
photo
may
of-
be a first. It is 11:57. I wanted to finish at midnight.
Nice.
What's going on here?
Yeah.
This is almost scary.
It's true.
Well, ain't over yet.
It's true.
I posted a photo of myself. I don't know if it showed up before. MZ and Raven Shadow took my soul. I was fucking good looking. I had nice hair. I was fucking happy. Had a nice sweater on.
When did you have good hair?
He did.
this
He had
picture.
the Corey Haim quaff going on.
I
Oh.
looked good. These guys fucking stole. Look at me. They fucking. It's like I saw a Cthulhu monster. My hair fell
You
out.
could be in
my
that new
beard's gray.
you could be in that new Richard
We're-
Stanley film.
We're like your Medusa.
Yeah. Somebody find Blinks. He can tell you everything about fucking Hardware 2.
More hardware?
More hardware.
Hardware.
Yeah. Still hardwaring.
Yeah.
Reopening.
Firmware.
This is how we get
Drill bit boogaloo.
What? All right. So, well, hey, I guess that's it, right?
Yep.
How about that?
Let me just see if there's any more final messages before we close out the chat here. Let's see.
Do they still access the chat in the same manner?
Oh, someone, same way. Someone named Raven Shadow Lost Pride says, "Look at this photo from before MZ and Raven Shadow broke." That's you.
You've been,
Why do you keep changing your name?
Because it kicks me out every time.
Oh, also before we go, Drive Jack and Mark, early congratulations, buddy.
Yeah, it's fucking awesome, man.
That is awesome. Super
Yeah,
happy
congrats.
for you, man. And it's great to see you. You know, whenever you can pop in, obviously we love it. So,
the same lady friend that he had before that made him lock his doors?
I would guess. Oh no, he told us about the lady.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
several months ago, or maybe.
Yeah, the one that the positive.
Yeah. The one got him stopped drinking, and or Rachel's like, oh, maybe he's not so good.
I want to hang out with him. I'm ready now.
All right, so let's.
It's 11:59. We can do
Yep,
this.
let's go around the room. MZ.
Arrivederci, douchebags.
Aries.
Goodbye.
Raven Shadow.
Live fast, love hard, die with your mask on.
Why didn't you grab the mic and stroke at that time? You're talking sexy.
Live fast,
Wolfenstein.
love hard, die with your mask on.
Mars.
I hate you guys and I hate the third grade.
That's not what you say.
Remember, children, wherever you go, there you are.
All right, everyone. Thank you for tuning in to episode 339 of Trick or Treat Radio. And a big thanks to Chris von Hoffmann for coming and hanging out with us for a little bit. And everyone go check out Monster Party, his flick. And next week, we're going to be talking about Polar, Netflix movie. It's going to be appearing on Netflix January 25th, Friday, January 25th. So if you want to check it out, leave us some feedback. Give it a listen. Send a voicemail or an email. podcast@trickortreatradio.com.
And check out Drifter on Netflix. It is available.
There you go. And also Eurocrime is available on Amazon Prime if that's something you're into. So that is going to do it. We will see you guys next week. So all of us here at Castle Wolfenstein, see you then.